night home theater hangout with yours truly, Shane and Digital Don.
Up.
What's up, Don?
In a world gone mad, one Asian stands alone. Up.
Okay. So, Don, you haven't been on here for a few weeks.
Well, I was on last week with Per Listen. A week before
Right?
last. Yeah, it was like a
Yes.
week. Yeah.
Oh, true. Okay, take that back. All right, so you were on 2 weeks ago. All right, well, I'll tell you what, I saw it yesterday. I went and saw Furiosa, a Mad Max saga or a Mad Max story. Did you get to see that?
No.
Did you ever see the original Mad Max Fury Road?
Oh, yeah, dude. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that again last night. That
Yeah,
that movie
boy.
that movie really holds up. And Furiosa, I think, is just as good as Mad
Really?
Max
That's
Fury Road.
cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
super cool. What's that actress that played her? She was
Charlize
she was
Theron.
Paul's daughter in Dune. Yeah. No, it's not Charlize Theron in the new one. Furiosa, the title.
Oh, Anya Taylor Joy.
Yeah, she's cool, man. I like her. She's got a
Yeah,
unique look.
yeah. She does. The only thing that really
John,
kind
John. Hello, John. Say hi
Jean
to John.
Sandoval. What's up, Jean Sandoval? So the
Good.
only thing that was a little different was like she's a lot shorter than Charlize Theron. I was just like, I was like, well, maybe
So
she's
are
still just
you?
a teenager in the movie. Well, everybody else is so tall. She was like the little tiny girl. And I was like, oh, Charlize Theron has kind of got a big stature to her. I was like, well, maybe she's just like 18 in the movie. Maybe she still has some growing to do. But I thought it was really good. The only thing that I didn't like about it was it looked very digital, looked digitally shot, super digital, not super digital clean, but you know how like the Fury Road was a bit grainy looking. It looks weird when you look straight into the camera. Yeah.
I watched Civil War tonight. That was pretty good.
Well, move on to Civil War in a second here, but let me give my synopsis on
I
Furiosa.
thought you were done. You just sitting there.
I'm just giving my review on Furiosa, but Furiosa is equally as good as Fury Road. I don't think it's quite as good. If Fury Road was a 10, I'm going to give Furiosa 8.5.
Okay.
8.5. Yeah, yeah. The audio was rock. You know how good the Fury Road audio is? Just the,
Yeah.
the engine roar.
Hmm.
I watched it again last night, I think 4 in the morning. Holds up. Still one of the best Atmos mixes. Killer
Oh,
bass,
shiny and
killer
chrome.
surround. And Furiosa, equally as good. I mean, used to think that the Dolby Cinema in my local town was, holding back on their bass, but Furiosa, no problems with that mix. I think the two best 4K Blu-rays that are going to come out this year, Dune 2, Godzilla minus one, if it comes out this year, if you import it. Other than Godzilla minus one, Dune 2, I think Furiosa is going to be top tier for this year. I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
Demo material for this year. And then one thing that I've been hearing about is that Civil War apparently has an amazing sounding Dolby Atmos mix. You just watched it. How did you feel about that statement?
It was good. I mean, it didn't jump out to me as the Atmos mix of the year, but it wasn't bad. It was good.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
really
didn't
a
think it.
lot of helicopter flyovers and whatnot. It was good.
Yeah, I got a lot of comments. I put up a few posts about movies, like, hey, what are you watching today or whatever. People would say Civil War has amazing Atmos mix. And I watched it last night before I watched, I felt like I watched something else yesterday. Mad Max. I think I watched it right before I watched Mad Max. And I was like, you know what? I saw it at the theaters too, and I was like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I was like, the gun shootouts are all right, yeah, they're loud, but I looked down the Atmos viewer, and there's not much happening in the height channels. I mean, it's mostly a road trip movie. And you saw it, right? They're just going to like Washington or something like that, with a couple shootouts here
Fighting
and there
scenes
along
were
the way.
good. Combat scenes were good. Helicopter flyovers. I mean,
Yeah,
it was good. I enjoyed it. I liked the movie. Didn't jump out to me as like, oh my god, it's the best sound I've ever heard. But it wasn't bad.
yeah, I
You
didn't
know,
think
it
so. I mean,
supported the movie.
if we're talking about gun shootouts, the best gun shootout is gonna be Heat. 1995's Heat is gonna be the gold standard,
Open
I
range
think.
is the best. gunfight
The one,
scene
the one with
ever.
Martin Lawrence. The one with Martin Lawrence and Ashton Kutcher.
What? Open range. Shut up. Idiot. Martin Lawrence and Ashton Kutcher. Huh? What? What?
Mitsu Kid with a $2 super chat. Hey, you guys got any questions? Any pressing questions? If you have a pressing question, drop a super chat. We'll make sure we get to it. Hope y'all are drinking some hard liqueur tonight. What do you got tonight, Donnie? Digital Don?
Well, I haven't. I've been on the wagon for 3 months, and I'm cutting my drinking back substantially. But tonight I got a little Chopin, which is potato
Listen,
vodka.
I
That's
don't try to make it seem like I'm peer pressuring you into coming back on the wagon.
what? You talk?
Okay.
Do I seem like the kind of guy that gets peer pressured ever? I mean,
you said
really?
you said
Seriously?
you're off the wagon. Wait, is it all? If
No,
you're
I
off the
said I've been
wagon, that
on
means
the
you're not
wagon,
drinking.
and,
Oh, you're on
and
the wagon.
I
Okay.
went to a event. One of my coworkers is leaving the company, and we all went up to a little bar, and I had a couple drinks for the first time in 3 months. It was cool, you know, not copious amounts. And tonight, since in honor of Shane Lee and your movie reviews, I'm having just a wee taste of vodka. It's okay.
No,
It's good potato vodka.
Cesar says the beginning of Civil War is a speaker test tone cool. Did you find that to be?
No, it is. It's a speaker test tone. He's absolutely right. I even said that to my girlfriend. I'm like, Joey, that's a test tone. And she looked at me like, "Did you turn that on?" No, because I'm always,
Oh, is there a test tone? I must have missed that. There's a test
Yeah,
tone at the start of it?
it's like the from the production company. It's not part of
okay.
it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
something.
right, because they have like the news thing.
Yeah, it comes on and
Yeah, okay.
which is pretty cool. I like when they're starting to play with Atmos a little bit in other areas. That was cool.
Okay. What did you think of the movie as a whole? Just from an enjoyment standpoint.
Since you brought up the whole, nah, you know, you know me. I mean, I got my Wolverine shirt on. I have my own.
Yeah, I know you loved
I
it. I
thought
know
it
you
was
loved it.
I thought it was well acted. I thought
Yep.
I mean, a lot of people, like you said, it was boring. You thought it was boring. I didn't think it was boring. No, I'm not supposed to say that. It, I liked it. It was
I
cool. I
thought
mean, the acting was really good. Really the kind of the war correspondent portion of it, I
Oh
thought
boy.
was a neat, view and act of it. Some of it was silly, but I mean, it's a movie. I enjoyed it. I was anticipating watching it on my own system at home, and it was cool. You know what what's that movie I watched last night with J Lo on Netflix?
Here we go. Okay. Hold on. Let me get my Civil War. Let me get my
No, no,
Civil
no.
War
All right,
review.
sorry, you got to finish. Sorry, it's ADD, man. Let me get some Adderall. Sorry, sorry, man. I swear, it's
My
one drink.
my Civil War review. I thought it was okay. I did fall asleep on it twice. Once at the theater, and then once again last night when I watched it again. I'm not going to do a review on it because I don't think it warrants a review. Like I didn't think it was Atmos extravaganza or anything like that. So I'm going to skip the review this time around. Kind of like how I skipped Oppenheimer because I thought Oppenheimer was boring, so I wasn't going to review that either.
Yeah, I liked Oppenheimer. You got no depth. You got the depth of a puddle. Sorry, go ahead.
So I'm skipping both of those. Well, obviously we know what happens in Oppenheimer, but I thought Civil War was a predictable movies, and I was just like, I feel like I've seen movies like this before, so I was just like, okay, I'm skipping this one too.
It actually was a really good movie. I thought the acting was really good on it. I thought.
Listen, just foreshadow. They kind of foreshadowed it at the beginning. They were just like, if I would have got shot, would you have taken my picture? I was like, Kristen Dunst is getting shot at the end of this movie. And what happens at the end of the movie? She gets shot.
Yeah, dude. Spoiler. Come on.
Oh, come on, man. You can, if anybody that watches movies could tell that the moment when they had that conversation,
But that's
she
not
was
the
going to get
point.
killed.
If you're gonna review a movie, you have to follow the etiquette, man. You don't want to give away spoilers.
Spoiler review. Spoiler. I'll put it in the title when we're done. Spoiler reviews in this Hamilton Hangout. I was just like, man, come on, this whole movie's predictable. And there's like all this news. People were just like, oh my god, this is like gonna happen in real life. Blah 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 blah. I was like, I hope it doesn't happen in real life because then life would be really predictable if it's anything like this movie.
What kind of American? That's like that'll be the line from that movie that'll be part of the nomenclature of all of the movie nerds. What kind of American? So
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the other movie I watched. Oh, I watched Civil War before I watched this movie, not Mad Max. I watched 3 movies yesterday. I watched Civil War, Atlas, and then I watched Mad Max.
God, it
But
must be nice not to have a real job.
but I watched Atlas. You watch Atlas. This is a new Netflix movie that premiered yesterday on Friday, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Mark Strong, who played
J Lo,
Sinestro,
J Lo.
and then I forgot the other guy, the black dude on there who was like the captain or something like that. But a little trivia: J Lo and that dude, the black dude on there. I don't know what his name is. I know somebody who knows who that guy is. Put it down in the chat. But they played in a movie together about 2 decades ago. If you guys know what movie that was, you get a prize.
He's full of shit.
But it was it was what was I going to say? Atlas. What'd you think about Atlas?
I enjoyed it. I think J Lo overacted a little bit as usual. Not that she's a bad actress, she just tends to overact a little bit, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. I thought special effects were good. The sound was good. I mean, it was fun. Listen, we're so starved for content. I I'm starting to watch like B movies now and knowing the actors. Oh, he was in a Sharknado 7. Oh yeah, this might be. It's terrible. So yeah, in the scheme of that, it was cool. I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not something I'm gonna watch over and over, but it was all right.
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah,
sci-fi
so yeah.
guy, so excuse
Yeah,
me.
I like the sci-fi. I'll tell you what, man, the all those Netflix movies, they all have really good Atmos mixes. All their bigger ones, like Six Underground, the other Ryan Reynolds movie, awesome, like 10 out of 10 Atmos mixes. And this movie, Atlas, 10 out of 10. Amazing Dolby Atmos mix.
It was good.
Bass was
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, I mean they had the beginning part where it was almost like Edge of Tomorrow, where they're on the mech suits,
Yeah.
and they it blows up and they fall down and they're like shooting the other villains in the air, just like Edge of Tomorrow. Same thing, and just a bunch of effects everywhere. Just the surrounds, all my surround speakers were just
And the
lit up.
special effects are good. I mean, I
Special,
thought
some of the
the
special effects,
CGI.
yeah, the CGI did look a bit cutscene, like a video game cutscene. Like this is like a video
Good.
game CGI.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, Weta Studios or
Yeah, it wasn't like Avatar, but yeah, I mean for
yeah.
Netflix, it was pretty
It
good.
was it
It
was
was
it
okay.
was good. Yeah. Netflix is actually when they want are making some decent movies. What's the Extraction, the Helmsworth movies? I really enjoy those a lot. Actually, they're good.
Yeah, I only watched that in stereo. I need to rewatch that on the new
Extraction,
theater. 2, Extraction 2.
part two. Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, but the Atlas movie, I thought it was okay. I thought it was all right. The acting was
It,
definitely
it,
kind of
it,
shitty.
dude, it was worth watching. It was something to do. It was
Yeah, yeah,
fun. It
yeah, it was a good. Yeah,
the system liked it.
it
Then
was
I
a
had a
watch.
buddy over who'd never seen Dune 2, and we watched that afterwards. And like, that's like watching an okay sci-fi movie to a freaking masterpiece that 20 years
Yeah,
from
yeah,
now
yeah,
will be right up
yeah. But
there
it's
with
like,
all the others.
but like, if you don't want to go watch Furiosa, you're just like, listen, I want to stay home and watch a movie. I think this J Lo movie is definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
had some good ideas in it, just not executed as well as maybe like a top tier A list movie would be. But although it was definitely worth a watch, it was
It was a
enjoyable.
B plus plus,
It
wasn't it?
was a B plus movie,
But I've
and not
seen
an A
A.
tier movie, but a B movie. Well, hold on, it's not. Do Would I say it's a
Wasn't
B
it
movie?
Zack
It's
Snyder's
like I
movie?
would say it's a C plus movie, maybe not a B plus movie.
Would you say it was exceptionally better than, or exponentially better than Rebel Moon 1 and 2?
Oh God, okay, so Atlas would be an A plus movie. Rebel Moon, freaking E. I'm
But you
giving
know
Rebel Moon
that
an E.
that Rebel Moon 1 and 2 if it had a little bit, it had some like character depth, some decent acting. I didn't think it was cast all that well. I had no connection with that main character, and the just the way the story took unfolded. I mean, it could have been great. I mean, the special effects were
Could have
killer.
been. Yeah,
It
the
really could have
trailers
been.
looked good. The trailers
The
looked good.
what's the dude? Um, D.
Zack
Jones?
Snyder?
No, the general in the movie, the one that was in Gladiator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
I freaking love that
Gladiator.
guy. Yeah, he was in Gladiator. What's his name? I can't even
Rebel
remember.
Moon? The Rebel Moon?
He was the general, the big black guy, bald head. He's been in
Oh
every.
yeah, 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 yeah,
What's his
yeah.
name? Somebody in
Oh,
the.
Jaimin Hansu.
Yeah, I love that guy, dude. Everything he
Yeah.
does, I think's fantastic. I
He might
mean,
be he might be the only good actor in that movie.
when you
He
say
did good
he
performance,
was
yeah.
the shining bright point in that movie, love that guy. The
Yeah.
Fall Guy, I saw that too. Sorry, I don't mean to get ahead.
Yeah. Listen, John. John, don't derail him, okay? 'Cause we're gonna. Okay. Oh, I when I said that Netflix usually has good Atmos mixes, Rebel Moon for a Zack Snyder movie, a shitty Atmos mix. For that big of a sci-fi movie, that's had a really crappy Atmos mix.
For the new Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, the new Star Wars. God, what a horrible movie, man. God, how do you? I mean, we need to get somebody that works in the industry and just be like, yo, maybe you get that guy John back on here, like when
When's the
he's
last time
doing
you saw a great Zack Snyder movie, though?
a great Zack Snyder movie.
A great one.
The Justice League was. I thought that his Justice League was awesome.
I'm turning on.
Maybe not awesome, but it was good.
Horrible, dude.
The Zack Snyder's Justice League. You didn't like it?
No.
Oh my gosh. You're a cut. You've been drinking too much. You need to have a few more drinks then.
I like especially the 4x3 version.
Oh, you know what I liked? I liked Army of the Dead. That was a good movie. You could tell me
Army
you didn't like that?
That's been a while, dude.
That was like 2 years
Three,
ago.
4 years? No, the zombie one. Yeah, it's been at least 3, 4 years, right?
Yeah, but 2 years,
I
3
liked
years. Yeah, sure.
I
I
liked
liked
it.
it too. I watched it last week again. Now that I got the big screen, I was like, you know what? Let me watch this because I have a 16:9 screen,
I don't have to
and
work.
it was
I don't
good.
have a big screen.
That's what I'm saying. Fall Guy. Did you watch a Fall Guy? You
I
didn't
did.
like. Hold on. You didn't like Fall Guy?
I watched it. I finished it.
Oh
It
shit.
was fun. I mean, it was what it was. It was all right. I mean, what do you want me to say, dude?
I liked
You know,
Fall Guy.
the serious movie lover in me is like it was a piece of shit. But sorry, but to try to be fair, it was entertaining, and you know
It was entertaining. I
when
thought it was a fun watch.
when you've had so much dung thrown your way for so long, if something's like, wet, shiny dung, not black, disgusting, you might. It's all shit. And been I mean, since Dune 2, nothing's
So
really.
there's times you watch Dune 2, movies like Dune 2, and there's times when you watch movies like Fall Guy. There's times when
It
you
was
watch movies
fun.
like
It was fun.
times when you watch movies like Zoolander. They all got their place. I liked Fall Guy.
It's the same. No,
It is
Zoolander.
kind of the same. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't think it should have flopped at the movie theaters
No,
because
it was fun. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, people love Barbie. I thought Barbie was just a waste of my time. But
yeah.
well,
Well,
'cause when there's hype around a movie and you see it and it's really not that good, you're like, okay. But it's like if it's unexpected and you see it, like the people went and saw Godzilla minus one first, not anticipating the quality of the movie that was.
I gotta
But
watch. Well, when I went to go see Barbie then Oppenheimer like the same day, and I was just like, oh, I was like, I stayed more awake for Barbie than I did Oppenheimer
well,
because I already knew what was gonna happen in Oppenheimer. I was just like, okay. For Barbie, I was
it was
like,
about 45 minutes longer than it needed to be. It was a good movie though. I'm a history buff, so I liked a lot of the parts of it. But
I need to stop talking about Oppenheimer. I feel like every time we do these live streams, we talk about Oppenheimer. Uh,
brought it up.
you said Barbie.
Well, I'm just being honest. Listen, the Fall Guys, a good popcorn movie. It's fun. It could have
Yeah,
been
it's
a lot worse. It really wasn't. You know, it was all
it
right.
was a fun movie. I don't
It's
know
fun.
if
It
people
was
I don't
disbelief.
yeah, it's a fun movie. The Atmos mix sucked in it. The Atmos mix did suck in it. I mean, I think I gave it a 6. I don't think I've given an Atmos mix a 6 in quite a long
Okay,
time.
Casey. I was with Casey this morning listening to Nikita's system. We went over. I picked Casey up. We went over and checked
Oh,
out what we
Casey.
set up. Yeah,
Is this
you know
is this the
Casey.
Casey that did the stream with us that
Yeah,
time? Okay.
yeah. He's
Okay,
gonna
okay.
come on and knock some shit down again. Speak some truth. Speak to the power.
Um yeah, but Fall Guys. Listen, guys, Fall Guys a fun movie. Watch it. Hold on. Hey, let's bring up this topic here. The people that are like, how do you feel about? How do you feel about? Listen, I'm not gonna go watch a movie. I'm gonna wait to go watch. I'm gonna watch it when it comes at home because I don't feel like I should ever go to the movie theaters because my movie theater is better at home. Do you feel like you should go to the movies to support your movies, or do you feel like you should just wait to watch movies at home?
Dude, I love going to the movies myself. Love it, but I gotta work. Like you know. I mean,
So
I'm
you
just
work.
saying.
So you
You
work
know,
24 hours a day. So
I
you work
work
about
about
20 hours a day.
I work about 10 to 12 hours a day. Then
What
I'm
does that mean?
tired. No, it means I work a lot.
What does that
I
mean,
go
dude?
if something I went and saw Dune 2. I mean, there's
Okay.
movie. I went and saw Godzilla -1. I mean, there's movies. We go to the movies. We got a great theater near us.
Yeah.
It's just I don't have the privilege of being able to go as much as you do. I'd like to. I mean, if I had some more time, I'd
Okay.
go
I
all
feel
the
it.
time.
Okay, I feel like this is a one-sided conversation. Okay, but I'll give my thoughts on that topic here because I always bring up the I always bring up the topic. I'm always like, "Hey, man, there's a new movie coming out this weekend. I'm gonna go watch the newest release, whatever." Because I have the AMC A list, I get to watch 3 movies a week for $25 a month. So I think that's a deal, considering one movie in IMAX is like $19 to $20. Whereas if you spend $25 a month, you can watch three. You could watch Dune 2 3 times in that one week. That's like $60 right there, where you're only spending $25. So I think for a movie subscription fee, that's awesome. You can watch all the premium movies you want at AMC, basically. But I always put up the posts if I'm going to watch a new movie. Hey, I'm going to go check out this movie. Did anybody see it? And what did you think about it? And I always get a lot of people that are like, I never go to the theaters because my theater is better than my local cinema, and it's a waste to support theaters because they have such crappy movies. I would much prefer watching it at my house. My whole idea is we wouldn't even have home theaters if people never went to the theaters in the first place. Home theaters wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy watching movies, you should probably go to the theaters. When movies like The Fall Guy flop and it comes out to watch on iTunes 2 weeks later, that means you guys didn't go to the movie theaters to support it. And if people don't support movie theaters go out of business, and then we end up movies with like Atlas that come out on Netflix with mediocre CGI, mediocre acting. And if you are a director, like let's say Christopher Nolan doesn't want to make movies for Netflix. Most movie directors where you see movies that are at your cinema, these directors, they want to make movies to be seen in the theater experience at an actual commercial theater. They don't design their movies to be seen on your television screens. So whenever I see these people that are just like, no, I don't go to theaters no more. What's the point? I have a home theater. I'm just going to sit home and watch it at home. That's the way to do it. That's how I support the cinemas, by watching at home. That's really bad for the theatrical business, because if you hurt the theatrical business, we won't have good movies to watch at home in our home theaters. I don't think people understand how the economics works, how that economics works, but that's like the wrong idea. When you are a home theater fan or a movie fan, I think you should go to the theaters to watch your movies, and then if you like the movies, then buy them on your 4K Blu-rays or your Kaleidoscape or your iTunes. But that's my stance on that. So I mean, if you are a fan of home theater and movies, go to the movie theaters and support the movies, or else we're gonna have a very subpar experience in the future. Unless you work a lot and you just can't make it to the movies ever, then I guess you have a way out, and then we'll just end up with Netflix and Apple TV Plus from here on out.
Well, you want me to
But
talk
okay,
more?
but all
Not
right.
to
Go
be
ahead.
silent.
Give me the opposite side because I feel like you're gonna say the opposite. Go ahead.
No, I think you're absolutely right. I love movies. I Some of the earliest and best memories of my life. My dad took me to the see a movie almost every weekend. I remember seeing Star Wars when it opened. I remember seeing all kinds of classic movies, war movies, Jaws. It was awesome. Love the movies. And I agree we should all get out more, and I'd like to get out more, and maybe I will after your little speech. You kind of moved me and touched me. Really, you're right. Support the theaters, man. We should have you on instead of fucking Nicole Kidman at the beginning of a movie. Shane Lee getting his popcorn, walking in. Are you ready for the magic? Are you ready for the magic? No,
Uh-huh.
no, I do. I love
Mhm.
going to the movie theater. I think we all do. I mean, you know, most people think their personal systems sound better than a movie theater, and
It doesn't.
they really don't.
Here's a little secret for you guys. Your home theaters, they're not better than going to the movie theaters. They're just not. I don't care how much money you spent on
I
it.
mean,
It's really not.
I've been exposed to some of the most the $2.5 million home theaters. Crazy,
Yep.
one we'll talk about later. With each driver has its own amp, and it's Trinnov based, and it's professionally calibrated and acoustically treated. Those in a big room too that gives you that scale because it's really hard to get that scale in a smaller room.
You can't unless you live in like
Well, you
unless in
can.
the Home Depot.
So
Because
there's a
yeah.
I'm not going to try to break some Matt Pose type knowledge out on the psychoacoustics of it, but just being in that big auditorium and you're sitting with people and sharing the experience, which is sometimes sucks, but sometimes it's really cool. I love going to old theaters. I love going
Yep.
to Broadway shows. Don't tell people I got a rep, but I like that theater big experience. I also love my home systems too. It's definitely more intimate and a different kind of sound, and I can calibrate it and adjust it. But it's just like as good as two channel and music is at home, it's never as good as really intimate live music or at a really good show. It's just not. And the hope is to try to recreate that experience as best you can. But in the movie theater, it's the same way. Everybody, oh, my theater, my clips should just destroy the theater. Dude, if you've been to a really good theater, a Dolby Cinema, no, I'm not talking IMAX because those are hit or miss, but like a Dolby Cinema or, one of the similar type modern cinemas, they're pretty damn good with leather chairs that recline and, little half walls to keep people from kicking your seat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's cool, like the one we go to. I thought that's because you don't feel like you're exposed. You just feel like you're in an intimate, little setup. It's cool.
And can we just say, listen, your 98-inch OLED is not better, is not the same experience as going to an IMAX. It's just not.
For listeners versus Dolby Cinema.
And then you have the experience. Listen, you have people that go to the cinemas, especially like at opening night on a big movie like an Oppenheimer.
It's
You,
fun.
you don't have that experience at your house. You just don't. And then of course the scale of it all. The scale is what I think it comes down to. You get the scale, and then the distance between all the speakers. You get the whole, just the large scale experience, which you don't get at your house, no matter what these YouTube reviewers might say. It sounds like the speaker sounds like you're at a cinema. It really never fucking sounds like you're at a cinema. There's
Unless you got
nothing
a
like
big ass room.
even
Big,
even even the theater. I know what you're talking about. In the theater that I went to in Germany, which is like
huge.
had like, yeah, it's like massive. It's a really big room, but it's not. It's like a $2-3 million room or something like that. But it's not like going to an actual commercial cinema. As cool as it is, it's still not the same
Why not
experience. It
both?
still feels like a big house.
Why not both?
What?
I got my Sonos soundbar installed. I'm never going to the theaters ever again.
Guys, support your local cinemas. I always like the ones where it's like, oh, I haven't been to the cinema in like 20 years because I hate the people that go there,
Well, that, you know,
or there's nothing good to watch ever. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's always something good to
when I went
watch.
and saw NWA, that was not a fun experience on opening night. It was crazy.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, the NWA movie. You never
Oh,
with
I know what you're
with
talking
Ice
about. Yeah,
Cube's kid. No, it was a great
Ice
movie.
Cube.
Yeah, it was just a
What's
little
it called?
rowdy.
It was called NWA. Well, you live in
Straight out of
Florida,
Straight out of Compton.
straight out of Compton. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you live in
great
Florida,
movie.
so I get it. I probably wouldn't go either.
Connecticut.
I would
Intellectual
go. I would
property
go
of
on
the
a
world.
Wednesday afternoon if I were you.
You're like the fourth most expensive state to live in. I saw that. I read that. I meant to call you and tell you.
Well, Florida. I price
No,
shop. We
Connecticut.
price shop. Oh yeah, yeah.
Connecticut's crazy expensive.
Hold on. So we moved in here about 3 months ago now. I haven't mowed the lawn since I moved in here. The grass reminds me of. It feels like I live in a Florida swamp right now.
Well, 'cause it's all disgusting and
I'm
overgrown.
afraid, I'm afraid to leave outside during the day because I don't want my neighbors to see me because they probably think I'm lazy as hell. So I only leave at like 10 o'clock at night to go to the store or to
The
like get
ones you
something to
woke
eat.
up at 4 in the morning playing games. That Asian boy next door, we're gonna have to do something about him. Yeah,
We
right.
got. We're waiting for one of our Nancy's got a landscaping buddy who's gonna come. I think gonna come to cut the grass on Wednesday, and then once he gets everything cleaned up, then I guess I'll maintain it.
Dude, you talk about grass growing. Live in Florida for a while and try to keep up with that grass. It's about ready in about a week to be the rainy season, and it grows like an inch, inch and a half a day. It's crazy.
Dude, mine is up to my knees right now. It's fucking bad.
I've cut it we get it cut every week.
Yeah, I need to hop on that. Do we have any pressing questions here? Any super chats or anything like that? No. What else is coming up this week? What do you got coming up this week?
Me?
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about the. I went to. You heard waveforming. I've now heard waveforming.
Hmm?
I went to the Trinov grand opening for their United States, I guess, headquarters training center for dealers, installers, and
Hmm?
possibly prospective buyers. Like if you're interested in buying a Trinov or
Or a
Ascendo
client, fly
speakers.
them up there, or yeah, an
Yep.
Ascendos.
Yep,
Yeah,
and you
that's
want to
really
know what
great.
Ascendo sounds like, or if you want to know what waveforming sounds like, or just a Trino sounds like, you can make an appointment with your dealer, and your dealer will pay for you and him to go over to Connecticut and listen to this theater. But I'm gonna put up a video probably on Monday or Tuesday, basically with John from Trinov and Arnaud, who's
I
I
don't
think
know.
he owns Trinov. Is he the owner of Trinov or something? He's like the head
The
Trinov
big
guy.
wig.
He's the big guy. And then Jeffrey from Ascendo. They have the Ascendo speakers in there. And Officina Acustica. Peter from Officina Acustica, who did the room,
Oh, the interior. Yeah,
the interior.
they
Yeah.
they do some over the top, crazy, stupid, cool, beautifully handcrafted rooms, dude. Like
Yeah.
that's the sauce.
Yeah. It
Love
was a
that
really
Shrek
nice,
chick.
it was a very nice room. I can see, I guess they can go in there and put your room together in like 24 hours if you were to buy one of their rooms. They would go and measure your room and just give you all the treatments and all that stuff, and they would just like put it in a pallet, bring it to your house, and just slap it together really quick.
It's all made in Italy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all made in Italy, so I would just assume
Beautiful.
I would assume it's
Bose
probably
turned me on to that company. Yeah, they do some. I mean, they do some crazy, super high end, super artistic room designs. Great company.
yeah, like super high. They showed some like renders and stuff like that, like of like a hand and like a platform on a hand, and your seats are on the hand. I was like, wow. I was like, that'd be super cool that if you could do that.
The hand job theater.
But I got to listen to well, I got to listen see the room. The room was pretty cool. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I think my room looks cooler than their room, although I'm pretty sure theirs costs a lot more. Probably sounds better than mine, but I think mine looks cooler. Uh, I went in there. It's about the same size as my room as well. I think width wise, it's like 17 wide by 20 deep. Mine's a little bit longer, but theirs is wider. Mine is like 14 wide. There's a 17, so theirs is a little bit wider. But size wise, I went in there. It felt very familiar, very nice, quaint, personalized, smallish, not smallish, nice size room. I didn't like the color choice. They had like beige walls and then hardwood floors. It was like just like a wooden floor and then like a beige colored walls. I wasn't really a fan of the actual room itself, like the color scheme they went for. Not a fan of that, but it's still a very nicely designed room. Although I do think mine looks a lot cooler. But if we're gonna go sound wise,
So with all their seams even without any.
I mean, they're panels, so they're all butted up together, but everything was really clean. All this, except for the one seam, the one was a little bowed out a little bit. I got a little explanation of why it was a little cockeyed. It's because they had to rush the finish. You're not going to be able to see that in the video unless you're really eagle-eyed. But everything was done really nice, though. The only negative about that room is that there's so much bass in that room, is that it wasn't secured 100% proper to maybe the studs, so the bass would just rattle everything in there. I think,
A Sendo will rattle anything.
yeah, I think there's like a metal frame that you velcro the panels to. That metal frame, all the metal frames were just like rattling. It was just like it was kind of it was kind of bad sounding. That part was kind of bad, but it was only because the volume was really cranked up. I don't think most people will probably listen at these levels. And then the screen was vibrating as well because there was they put the 32 inch behind the screen, so the screen was like it was kind of vibrating. But let's get into the waveforming though. You heard waveforming,
I did. Mhm.
but you weren't a fan at the
Well,
demos
no,
that you
no, no,
heard
no,
about.
no. And I want to walk that back. So the room at Cedia that Trent Alvin Ascendo had was an amazing system. It just, I was expecting bone crushing bass, and that was probably my own anticipation of it and all that. And they had dialed it down so it was a little more palatable, I guess. But what I was told, Matt Post said he went and listened to it after the show, or when the crowds were out, and said they had the bass cranked up. It was insane. So I
Yeah.
know it had the ability to do that. It was I didn't particularly care for that Trenov demo that they played either, but you know I thought the waveforming, everything was as correct as it possibly could be. I mean, it just was a really good sounding room, and I even said that before. It was really good. It just didn't have a ton of oomph. Not what I was expecting. Anyway.
Okay, so my demo was with the Ascendo speakers. They had like 8 21-inch subwoofers, which they call their kick woofers. They had
So,
130, yeah, they had 132-inch infrasonic subwoofer, which was dead center right behind the screen up front. And then they gave us the waveforming demo on and off. The first thing they had us do was whip out our phones with the SPL meter, and we walked around the room with waveforming turned off. There were like big swings between like the main listening area and just anywhere else you walked, between like anywhere from like 30 dB to like 2 dB difference wherever you walked. And I took a video of it, so I'll show it in the video. And then with waveforming turned on, there was like maybe 1 or 2 dB difference everywhere you walked in the room.
I mean, it's
That's
remarkable.
impressive. Yeah,
It's
that's impressive. So between like the main list, there's 6 seats in there. It's a 6 seat, or wait, no, I think it's an 8 seat theater, or maybe it's a 10 seat. I don't know. between 6 and 10 seats. There's 2 rows, front and back, and there was maybe like a 1 to 2 dB difference between every seat in the main listening area. So that's really impressive. And of course, after I left the show, the demo, I went home and measured mine with my dB meter and walked around. And I will say, without waveforming, the front row, there's like a 3 dB difference in the front row. The only seat that's different in my back row is the back left corner. There's a 10 dB difference between that and the main listening seat. But everything else is within 2 to 5 dB, all 6 seats, which I think is
You
pretty
can
good.
do waveforming soon, right?
Yeah. I mean, I probably could get their beta, but I don't have the proper setup right now. But mine is pretty good. It wasn't as is all right. So it wasn't as good as what I heard at their cinema because I have a 32-inch in there. But I feel like the bass that comes out of there, and I think it's because they have height elevated subwoofers rather than just subwoofers sitting on the floor. I know people always say like bass is omnidirectional. You can't really tell where bass comes from. But I feel like if it's on the floor, you might have like an idea that it's coming. It might be omnidirectional, but I feel like you can feel there's some pressure that's coming towards the floor. Does that make sense?
I mean, maybe
I,
your shit set up. No, I'm kidding.
as opposed to okay, so I'm gonna cut that
I hear
part
you.
out. As opposed to having subwoofers mounted on the ceiling, where it feels like the entire room gets blanketed with bass. Like it just feels like it's in,
Blank.
like it's in, almost like the bass is just coming out of nowhere. Almost like it's not in a room. Like the bass is just like you just get blanketed. You get hugged and just bass everywhere. You don't know where the bass comes from. It could be coming up top, it could be coming on the bottom. You don't know. It's just there.
It's cool.
Does
No,
that? I don't know if that makes sense for some of you guys, but that's kind of the experience I got. Almost like the bass just like it just magically appears. Like in a lot of home theaters that I've been to, I can kind of tell. Like,
it's not
okay,
crazy.
you got a
Sometimes
subwoofer that
I'll
comes.
listen. Sorry.
Yeah, like sometimes I could tell, like, okay, you guys got subs coming up in your front of your room. I get it. There's subs in the front, or I can tell. All right, so I can tell. Yeah, I get a nice even amount of pressure, but I can kind of tell it's coming from behind me, or I can tell that's coming from the left corner or something like that. Even though it's room filling, I can kind of get the sensation. But this one, I didn't get a sensation of how many subwoofers there might be in the room. Like I felt like if I stood up, the bass was the same. If I sat down, the bass was the same. If I walked across the room, it was the same. It was just like the same everywhere.
I mean, you ever close your eyes and try to localize bass when you're calibrating and setting a system up?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and it's easy to tell if you sit in the main seat, but then you're like, okay, I'm going to hop in the back seat really quick, or I'm going to hop in the adjacent seat. You're like, oh, it's different.
Oh, for
It's
sure.
different. Yeah, but then in this room, I was like, oh, it's the
I mean,
same.
it's certainly the most advanced technology we currently have in home this realm of home theater. Although at a level most people can't afford, but it's still awesome.
I thought it was really good. And the couple of demos that they play with, like they played with A Quiet Place and some of the rock. Well, I think as well, you probably need some really capable subwoofers also because like certain demos I've heard many times before, and having that infra sub in there, it makes a huge difference.
It does. I
Because
agree.
I got the two Pro Listen 18s in here, and I came home. I've always thought, oh wow, I got some pretty good infrasonics with these little dual 18s. But then I came home to try to recreate that. I was like, oh okay, that 32-inch really, really does add
Yeah,
another
32 and
dimension.
what
Yeah,
821. I mean, that's kind of
but
hard
but
to
the,
recreate with.
but then I'm thinking, listen, they had 821s in there and then 132, and I know what an infra sub will do at that size and bigger. am I listening to waveforming? Am I listening to this infrasonic subwoofer? Or am I just listening to the placement of having subwoofers high up on the ceiling,
Or the synergy
on
of
the
it all
wall?
working together.
Yeah.
You got a super chat.
Yeah. So, that's kind of my take on the waveform. I mean, well, they did turn waveforming on and off. And all I can say is that the bass noticeably cleaner with it on than it with
Really?
it off. Yeah. It was definitely. It sounded like with it off. It sounded like my home theater. With it on, it was like a couple steps above. I was just like, oh, it was just like, oh, this is what really clean bass sounds like. Despite having really good subwoofers in my theater, I was just like, oh, okay. Or despite having really good subwoofers in their theater, which is still really impressive with it off, but with it on, I was like, oh, this really just cleans up everything. You just more of a effortless type of thing. I guess it's a little bit hard to explain unless you actually hear it. Well, you heard it, so you know what I'm talking
I did. It was wonderful. I mean, it was
about. Yeah.
amazing.
But yeah, we had a super chat. I'll let you answer that while I go to the bathroom really fast. Hamza. Hamza says, have either you or Don heard Kef R Meta speakers?
I have. I've heard them quite a bit. And they're among my favorites. They're great speakers. Very dynamic. The point source is amazing on them. I even like the styling of them. I think they look cool. I really like what Kef's done over the last few years, to answer your question. Is there a particular meta? I don't know if I've heard them all. I've heard the towers, and I've heard bookshelves, the three-way bookshelves, which were great. Love those. You want to clarify? While we're waiting on Shane to urinate. Nope. Hey, John, you still with us? It's a little slow coming out. To how good the subs were. So, anyways, going to the waveforming and the Trinov, it's pretty much the pinnacle of what we have technology-wise in home theater technology right now. It really, truly is. What I heard was awesome, and I've heard a couple different demos of it. It's great stuff. R7 towers. Okay, yes, I have heard those, and they sound wonderful. Very dynamic, very musical, very neutral. So, not a, not my personal favorite choice, but that's irrelevant because everything's so subjective. But I think the Kef R series, R7 towers, R6 center channel would be a great anchor for a killer system for both music and movies. Is my opinion on that. They're really good. Kellen, what's up? Kellen Fleener, my man from Dream Media. If you guys need anything, call Kellen Fleener and let one of his experts help you. Um, but yeah, listen, going back to the Kefs, they're wonderful. Um, it's really hard to choose wrong anymore. Really, I think a lot of it comes down to being able to demo the speaker and what you personally like, because there's so much good stuff out there. People have been talking about influencers being bought by manufacturers, but have always given good reviews. And to be honest with you, man, I haven't had anything come across my systems to check out in a while that wasn't really good. What are you pointing at me for, Mitch? I was talking to Kellen, answering the man's question.
Oh, his name's Kellen? Hamza, your name's Kellen?
No, Kellen's here.
Oh.
What you doing? You again?
I can't see it. Hold on. Hamza, hold on. Did you answer his question? Well, let me answer the question too. Have either of you or Don heard Kef R Meta? I have not, so hopefully Don answered your question.
Didn't you hear him at Audio Vice last year when you were there with us? I mean,
They
you
had the
walked right
Metas
by
there?
him playing. Yeah,
I don't think we stopped at their room. Oh,
was.
we did. We did. They
Yeah,
had they had the
yeah,
projector set up there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we thought they sucked. We legit thought they all
You
sucked.
listened to the powered ones. He's talking about the passive ones.
They had three setups in there. They had the powered ones, the green ones. They had like the main ones with the
No, they had the
LS50 meta.
no, they had the metas out in an open area. I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
just heard them there. I've heard them a couple places, but you were there and they had them sitting out. But maybe you didn't stop and listen to them.
No, we all listened to them.
No, not in the room, dude. In
Yes,
an
we
open
did.
area.
Oh no, they had hold on. They had the projector, the three projector setup. They had the green. That was a separate
Oh,
room.
you talking about the other room? Yeah,
No, no, there was three rooms. They had the projector setup with the
they had the
game,
racing.
with the
The,
gaming.
yeah.
Yep.
Then the
They had
powered room
another room with the
went
powered
down.
the L60s or whatever they're called, and they're powered. They look like the LS50s, except they're like mini towers. They were green. I recall that. And then they had another room with the metas, a separate home theater. There was like
Yeah,
three of them.
you're right.
I don't know
And
if
they
you
had them
was
out
in there with
front.
me.
Yeah, so I listened to them. I was in that room for 2 minutes on surround. I heard them out. They had them sitting out in the open area, and they were playing two channel demos on them. That's where I got the
And
really good.
I recall none of us liked any of the rooms.
Well, I just
That's not to say that they don't sound fantastic in a proper
well, I
room.
had the little powered a couple set of the little powered ones like you had. I demoed those for a while at my house, and they were great. But no, I heard the metas out in that open display, and they sounded really good actually.
Not an audio,
But
not the advice demo.
it was an audio. It was an audio advice. They out on the floor before you went into any of the rooms. They had a Kef set up with their theater chair, Audio Advice's own theater chairs, and the meta sitting out.
Was this in a different room that I was? Was I in the
It
same room
wasn't
then?
in a room, dude. It was in a like a big open area before you went in the other rooms.
Okay. Well, I heard the Meta home theater that had audio advice. I was not impressed with them.
That room
You
was
know,
hard.
that was in a hotel room, so maybe they, you know, maybe it just wasn't ideal. But I remember me and Gene. I recall you being there, but apparently you weren't there. But I remember we left the room. We left the room. We were just like, that was just like that was just
I think it was the
uneventful.
setup they had.
Yeah. Although the projector room they had set up was really good, but that was only because we were wowed by the projector setup, not by the speakers.
Oh yeah, you mean the flight simulator they were doing?
Yeah, yeah, that was super cool.
My boy Adam set that up. That was super dope.
Yeah, but the home theater setup there. Listen, I wasn't impressed with none of that shit. So take
You
that for
had
what it is. But
didn't sit down
that's
and
not in my house though.
they had the
That was
big meters sitting there. I think they were powering with Marantz, and then they had a TV, and they didn't have surrounds. It was just two speakers for stereo. Then they had the new Audio Advice theater seating in front of it, and that's where I got to really listen to it.
okay. Well, there you go. You got two
They had
different
blades.
perspectives.
Remember the blade set up in the front of the lobby?
Yeah, the blades. Oh man, I've been wanting some blades forever.
I think that's the ugliest speaker ever built.
Get out of here!
They
You're
sound
fucking
good. Oh, I
crazy,
hate them.
dude.
I think they're hideous,
Those
dude.
are the coolest looking speakers, I
Yeah,
think.
well, ask for every seat, dude. Yeah.
I love those blades. They were gonna get. I can get them for like. Well, I don't want to say. You know, we get the reviewer discount, even with a little special reviewer discount. I still can't afford them.
They're like 30 grand a pair.
Yeah, 26.
They sounded
Maybe they,
great. Oh, they
maybe they
sounded
went up.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, I like the new. You know what? Remember the Sony room with all the entry level Kefs speakers in it? How good that sounded with the
The
Sony.
entry level cover.
Well,
That was the listen, that was the best. That was the best demo that we heard at that show.
right.
Was
That's
the
what I'm saying. Those
Oh, that was with the
were
caps.
steps down.
That
Yeah,
was with
those
the
were
caps.
Kefs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
remember you loved it.
Yeah,
You're like,
that
oh
was
my
the cap.
god.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
No,
All
they
right, I
sound
take that
good.
back. Hold on, but was that with the metas though?
No, it was the Q series, I think, or whatever below
It
the
was
Meta.
with the cheap. It was the cheap ones. Yeah, it was
Right.
the.
But that room they had the metas in. I remember now, and I apologize. I that one it was kind of thrown together, and they had a screen on it. It was a tiny room, dude. It's not a whole lot you could have done with that. You know, you had these big, huge meta towers in this little bitty room, but they had a two channel setup. So I'm telling you, I heard that there. It was really good.
Okay, I trust your
You trust me.
experience. Your okay. So Callan's got a. Okay, Shane, what's been your best demo-worthy movie you've watched this month? So Kellen hit me up this afternoon. Was like, Civil War is amazing, mind blowing. I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but it's something to that. I'm paraphrasing to that effect. And I was like, I was just okay. That's why I
I
said
just
that to
watched
you at
it.
the
I was
beginning of the
like, yeah, it
stream.
was good. I like the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah. Yeah, it was okay. Listen, Kellen. Me and Don were just like, yeah, it's okay. It wasn't anything fucking. If something sounded better than Civil War, it was Atlas starring J Lo on Netflix. That blows away Civil War, annihilates it. But what is the best sounding demo-worthy movie that I heard this month? Probably Godzilla minus one would be the best. You watched it too, because I remember you said you watched it.
I loved it. It was
Yeah, it
great.
was great, man.
Bass killer.
Yeah. Oh, let me hold on. Let me rephrase that. Is that the demo? Is it a demo-worthy mix though? I don't know if it's
The Godzilla.
demo minus one. When I think of when I think of
Yeah.
demo-worthy mixes, I
Sure.
think of it as a whole from beginning to end.
Oh, okay.
There are demo-worthy scenes in it, but it's not a demo-worthy movie. Oh, well, what do you think?
I mean, it's probably not what I would put on. I have
Yeah,
certain
that's what I
movies,
mean. Yeah,
but
that's
it
what I
was
mean.
good. It was enjoyable. No,
Yeah,
it was very good. Yeah, Blue Angels on IMAX. I think John hit me up to watch that too.
yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but it's still at the theater over here. But I think this month though, probably Dune 2 is
Yeah,
from start to finish, as far as audio wise.
an
Well,
assault.
video wise too. Dune 2 would be the all encompassing.
It's an assault on your system from the beginning to end. I mean, you want to get your system a test. You got good subs. Check that movie out.
Yeah. But for everybody that says Civil War is a Atmos demo worthy mix, like 95% of that movie is just a road trip. They're going to like Washington in a car. It's not a demo worthy mix from start to
There were some
finish.
good spots, dude. Helicopter
Listen,
flyovers and gunfights. I
listen,
mean,
in a 2 hour movie, if you got like 15 minutes worth of gun shootouts and a couple that's not a demo worthy Atmos mix. Well, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Whereas in Dune 2, you have everything from like quiet scenes to action scenes
right.
that that immerse you in
Well,
audio.
Civil War didn't. It just was just spaced out differently. I mean, there were some pretty
Oh,
intense scenes in that movie.
there are intense scenes in the movie, but if they're showing scenes with them driving in a car for like 5-10 minutes, is that demo worthy?
I don't know, Shane. Is it? Is this
No,
a,
no, it's not. I'm trying to get you to say no,
if
it's not.
somebody's coming to my house, I'm going to put on a hand selected few things to show them. But yeah, if that's what you're trying to determine. Civil War was a great movie. Would it be my first choice to demo? Probably not, but I enjoyed it. I thought the sound was good. I thought the soundtrack was good at points too.
When you say it's demo worthy and you put demo worthy and good in the same sentence, that means it's not demo worthy.
You're talking about a whole movie though, not just a scene or
I'm
scenes.
talking audio wise as far as a demo worthy movie.
Probably not demo worthy.
Okay, so there you go. So it's not then.
All right.
If I say Dune 2 as a demo worthy movie from start to finish,
Son,
would you?
you're gonna work here. You're gonna have to lay off the drugs. Okay, we just wasted 10 minutes on that.
It's not a waste. I always get the question like, "Hey Shane, what do you think? Why do you think this is demo worthy?" Like I get it all the time in the questions. Why do you say it's an 8.6 instead of an 8.7? It's because I've watched a dozen movies a week, and then you can break it down. In my mind, I break it down. Is it this scene just a little bit better than this one? It's a little bit better. It's a little less than this one. A little bit better than this one. So I put the little fractions in there just so I can calculate it a little bit
Does that take
differently.
away the enjoyment of just watching a movie though? Dissecting it,
I
or do
always
you
I,
watch it
I
and go
always
back
watch it.
and dissect it?
I watch it twice. I watch it the first time I watch it, and I stare at the screen and I stare at my Atmos viewer on the iPad. And then the second time around, I'll watch it with Nancy, and I'll just watch the movie.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I try to like watch the movie and appreciate the art and whatnot. And if there's
Well,
something, a good scene grabs you, like I look at my girl, I'm like, damn, that was a lot of bass. Whoa.
that's okay. So it's usually 3 times. I'll watch at the movies first, where I have nothing to obstruct my attention. I don't have an iPad next to me. So I'll watch the movie, but I'll keep an ear out to be like, okay, I'll take mental notes. Sometimes I'll take out my phone and put a little note. Oh, at this scene, I hear this. And then when I watch it 2 weeks later at the house, I'll say, oh, did I hear this? I didn't hear it, or I did hear it.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it a third time with
Well,
Nancy, and I'll be like,
and I
okay,
think a lot
I'll
of
enjoy it.
people look to you for good movie reviews and demo material.
So that's how I come up with my little fractions, the 8.2, 8.1, 8 point whatever, and I'll come, and then sometimes I have to watch my own old reviews and be like, oh well, I gave this a 9.3 with the Integra AVR. Does it sound better on the Trinov, and should I rewatch it and re-review it? Sometimes I'll do that too. But yeah, so that's the answer to Kellen's question. Kellen, you didn't even give a fucking super chat, man. Cheap little mother.
So,
Uh,
may I interject something?
yeah.
So, everybody talks about Atmos. Isn't Atmos there to support the story and not become a main character in the story? Everybody including myself, wish we had more cool effects from Atmos, but if it's not supporting the story or it's not what they want to hear, maybe.
So a good example of that would be the demo that everybody plays is A Quiet Place.
Hmm?
There's not that much action that goes on in it, but the atmospherics add to the buildup of when the action
Right,
comes on.
right.
So it's
It
just the
supports the
little
movie.
stuff. It's the little stuff that goes on around you, above you, at some point, maybe below you. Just the little sound cues here and there that are intermixed that
Supports
create
the
the real
story.
life effect. They put that in that movie, whereas other movies, even big Fall Guy, for instance,
Hmm?
there's nothing going on in the other six speakers above your head, even though there probably should be because helicopters are going over your head. There's nothing there. The quieter stuff, although in the Fall Guy, is very much like A Quiet Place because then you have a lot of the quiet stuff. You have the ambiance
Wind
that
going
they put
over and there's, yeah. But I mean, how much did you expect from the Fall Guy?
a lot because it's a huge blockbuster action movie and you just didn't
Is
get
it?
it. The Fall Guy, yeah,
Yeah, had a great
yeah,
cast.
yeah, great cast, a huge budget, and and then you got Godzilla minus one. It and those quiet scenes, it's kind of like A Quiet Place as well, where you still get some good ambiance in it. And then Godzilla comes on, and he does a lot of his building destroying stuff. So yeah, so the Atmos, the audio definitely should elevate what you're seeing on screen and take you to another place. You shouldn't just be like having dialogue only. If you're in a mall, if the scene takes place in a mall or out in a field or something like that, you should probably hear some kind of crickets or something, maybe like the wind blowing or a car driving by or something, that enhances the scene that you're watching.
Mhm.
So I take all that into consideration when I'm watching a movie, and then when I'm giving my little fractionary scores. The music for Dune is excellent, but not exactly demo-worthy material for surround sound or Atmos.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Thought it
that's a
was pretty
huh.
badass, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty badass too. I know what you're talking about, MW.
maybe his opinion. I mean,
Maybe my sometimes, most of the time I don't like to answer the comments. But when they're just like, "Oh man, this sounded like trash on my system," how could you give it a 9.2 or how could you give it a 10 when it doesn't sound anything like that on my system? It sounded like absolutely garbage. When I and then my response is usually, "Well, what is your system?" And it'll be like, "Oh, I have like a 5.2 system." I was like, "Well, you're missing like another 12 speakers, so that's probably why it doesn't sound good."
thought it was pretty
maybe
rad.
maybe maybe your system just isn't good enough.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Dune 2. I probably watched it like 8 times now or more. I had my buddy come over last night. We watched it. And He read the books when he's an old college buddy of mine in my fraternity, and he hadn't seen it. He's like, wow, they did an amazing job. Now that experience, it was an experience more than just a movie. But good movies will do that.
Yeah. Kellen, I definitely have to disagree. What do we disagree? Kellen, what are you disagreeing on? Should we drop Kellen the link? Kellen, you want to get on here?
Come on, Kelly.
Yeah, come on, Kellen. Let's drop the link in the chat.
Come on, Kelly.
Actually, listen,
Get
we'll
there
drop
in bed. Come on.
Hold on. Well, actually, we'll drop a link in the chat, and anybody can come on. If you have a little camera, you want to hop on?
Come on.
Yeah. Got a lot of trash talkers in my community. Come on. Let's trash talk. Let's trash talk live.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. There we go. Yes, love Dune. Watched it 5 times.
I'm gonna chill. We're gonna settle in now. We're gonna be here a while, I guess.
Could you please answer my question? I don't even know what your question is, dude. Listen, if you got a pressing question, you could drop a super chat. It'll illuminate on the screen, and we can find it really quickly.
Put like 10 cents on there just to fuck with him.
Drop 10 cents if you want to.
Government must keep that money. I ain't seen a nickel.
I barely get nickels.
Did you watch Forrest Gump? That's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but the 4K looks like garbage, though.
Oh boy.
We need to get you. We need to get you on the 4K. The 4K review bandwagon.
Yeah, like I don't have 4K.
Oh, you don't have 4K? You don't have 4K TV?
Of course I do, dumbass. Yeah, I got 3 of them.
So coming up tomorrow. Hold on. Coming up tomorrow.
Come on, have somebody else jump in here.
Nah, nobody wants to come on here. People like to talk.
Really?
People love to come in the chat and they talk garbage, but they never like to come on and talk garbage in person.
Nobody's talking garbage, dude. Tonight.
Oh, people always talk garbage.
You're being pretty decent.
I got the worst trash talkers on my channel.
What up, you two?
Ever. Look, you made him give us a 99 cents.
Oh man. 99 cents.
I'll talk to AA. I believe AA is on my Patreon, unless it's a different AA. Don and Shane, you guys have good banter. Would you say for movies, specifically, something like Perlison is better than Focal Kef? Which would be better for music?
That's a really tough question.
Is it a tough question, or is it a subjective question?
It's a subjective question.
Yeah.
Like I love the Focal sound for music. It's subjective. I just love the way they sound. They're a little bit different flavor, but I love Perlison equally as well. And Kef makes some THX stuff too. That's pretty dynamic. But if you're looking for big dynamic sound,
we got Kellen. Kellen's coming on. He's getting dressed.
Is he?
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
He's getting dressed?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Okay.
You already got 12 kids. Yeah.
He's doing this. Okay, so you say you pick Perlison.
No, I didn't say I picked Perlison. I'm just saying they're all amazing. I would be happy with all those 3 brands mentioned.
Well, you gotta pick one. He wants you to pick one.
Oh no, he doesn't.
Let me reread the question here. Don and Shane, you guys have good banter. Would you say for movies specifically? Oh, for movies, something like Perlison is better than Focal Kef. I would pick Perlison for movies.
I would probably.
Yeah. I'd pick
although Focal makes them pretty, and Kef makes them pretty killer, but for music, I'm a Focal dude. I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I would pick Focal for music. Focal music, Perlison movies. Because I think I'll give my reason, because I think Perlison is a very neutral speaker. Focal and Kef have their own flavor to them, which means bright, which I think you get. For me, for all the Focals that I've ever reviewed, Perlisons or Focals are brighter than Perlisons. See, AA is on my Patreon. Listen, if you guys want your
You're more
question answered, join my Patreon as well, just like AA. Okay.
I'm about ready to buy some per listen speakers to have too. So I can't
But
say anything better about that.
I think per listen is good for home theater because it's a neutral speaker. So if you're cranking it loud as reference level, you have a nice, smooth frequency all across the range. It doesn't
Incredibly
get too bright.
dynamic.
Incredibly dynamic. If you wanted to EQ them to sound like a focal, you could probably do that as well. If you want to
Yeah.
make it a little bit brighter, for sure. Whereas was this question for movies or for movies and music? I think it was for movies.
That's for movies and music.
Oh,
Damn,
okay.
how much you had to drink?
So I would go for per listen. If it was just strictly music, I would go for focal. Because I think the micro detail on the focals better than the per listen.
That's
Sure.
super subjective, but man, look, at the end of
Yeah.
the day, dude, if you got a really good set of higher end
You know,
focal,
we have somebody AA. We have somebody on the chat who
yeah,
actually
no,
have focal utopias and then per listens in his home theater right now, or he did.
Hey,
You look like you just woke up.
been up since 2 this
You
morning.
are an hour behind us, aren't you? Why are you so sleepy?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's because I got up at 2 this morning. So,
hi,
anyways,
Kellen.
what's up? What's up,
What's
Don?
up, brother?
Hold on. What room is this? Looks like you're in the lobby
South Tucker
somewhere.
Theater.
This is yeah. So this is a new
You at the
addition.
bar?
Yep, this is
Yeah,
like the little concession area walking into the theater. I've got
yeah, dude,
the
dude. Kellen's got a badass house.
I can
Really
tell.
nice. It's
I
really,
need
really.
it. I needed to move the fucking down south. These guys have the biggest rooms ever.
Y'all come back now. You hit.
Y'all come back now.
two.
What's your choice for home theater, pro listen or vocal? You've had both.
Um, they're both very good, but I think the per listen is just dynamically.
Dynamically challenged.
Yeah, I mean, I think the per listens are just a little more cleaner sounding. Um,
At high
not
volumes.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Dynamically playing louder, they're really tough to beat, from what I've heard.
Not saying focal's a slouch in any
No, I
measure.
liked. I mean, I loved my theater whenever I had the 1000s in there. I just,
Yeah, it sounded
um,
amazing, dude. I heard it with that. It was anybody in the planet would be super happy with that. But using that array that they use with the three tweeters, we'll call them for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, just the dynamics on them are just insane. At
yeah,
higher volumes, I mean, I think at rational, reasonable volumes, it would just come down to taste of sound. But I think as you get to the ultra high volumes, um, Focal's just got the 1 inch beryllium dome tweeter. It's just hard to keep up with, you know, the larger array that ProListen has.
So
I
hold on.
agree.
What do you disagree with? You think we were wrong on Civil War? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was disagreeing with that guy that said that Dune 2's music wasn't demo
Oh,
worthy.
yeah. You're crazy. Who did that? Hans Zimmer? Is that a Hans
No,
Zimmer score?
so if you go to Apple Music, they've
No.
got the Dune 2 soundtrack with everything on it in Atmos, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds great.
Hello, Kellen. When are you going to install a just video? Oh, a just video wall in your theater? Have you guys been thinking about? I know you've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be put
You,
on hold now.
you
You
better
were going to do that though.
put some more air conditioning in that room and run some
Yeah,
more power.
we were thinking about it, but I think we're going to do the waveforming and do an acoustically transparent screen with the NZ900.
Oh, the projector.
Yeah.
Did you get that yet, or what?
No, well, it's not out yet, but I've
I
had
thought
it.
you were getting the loaner unit. Did you not get the loaner?
Yeah, yeah, no. We had it for about 4 days.
That's it. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, it was just tight crunch on my end. Plus, had to get it out to the screening room because they were going to do a
Oh yeah, the
an event for it.
competition.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
but it was good.
would you say that's more of a lateral move rather than an upgrade?
Um, it was definitely noticeably better than my unit on a lot of things, and I personally think. I mean, I love JVC, but I think QC could be better. It's across the board with pretty much every brand, but I think my unit per se wasn't or is not the best sample of an NZ9 that I've ever seen. And
Hmm.
so whenever I shot it against the NZ900, I mean, it was like Sony levels of sharp and detail, like crazy, crazy. Yeah.
Did
Like I
you
was like, this is insane.
did you see the N800 yet? I wonder if that would be the
No.
same difference.
No, I just had the 900. I've set up NZ8s that looked better than my NZ9.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, whenever we had all three of them in my room, I mean the NZ8 was sharper and had better contrast than my NZ9.
Interesting.
But
They need to get some of that Sony quality control.
Sony's fucking suck, dude. Why did you get?
Sony sucks.
Yes,
You're an
they do.
idiot.
Yes, they fucking
Oh,
do.
Sony
I was gonna
sucks.
show this to you, Shane. Though
Oh yeah. How is that?
it's pretty sweet. Yeah, I
Is
mean
that
it's
user configurable? I mean,
no,
for the most part, for
could
you.
be, could be. Oh yeah, it took like maybe 2 minutes to set it up for my room. You
All
just
right, so it
like
is user configurable.
it's like turn off IP driver, Kaleidoscape IP driver, Apple TV 5th gen, projector NZ9. It's like, okay, what input is the projector, or like what input is the turn off plugged in on the projector? Input one. Okay, what's the input on your turn off for the Kaleidoscape? Input one. Apple TV. Input two. Boom. It's all set up.
On the handset itself.
But they
Yep.
won't. Why won't they let consumers do that?
Yeah,
They don't
I
want
mean,
to.
that's like Control 4, dude. I mean, what?
yeah.
They they don't want to fall in the same category
Harmony
and
is harmony.
fall into the same basically deathbed as Logitech. You know, whenever you sell a remote like Logitech did for 600 bucks, you make a couple $100 profit, right? But then you've got Miss Jane
Customer
who got
support.
sold that remote from Bob at Best Buy and they don't know what the hell they're doing. And so Jane's got to call Logitech and spend 15, 16 plus hours trying to figure out the remote. Well, they just now they lost $400 on that remote. So you multiply that by thousands and then that's why they got rid of it.
Wow.
So they want the control and the support being on the dealer end. And if the dealer is the one setting it up, then that's what's got to happen with Ava.
You got to call
But
an integrator.
Yeah.
but what's the why would I want to get that over Control 4 that's been in the business for forever?
Well, I mean, it's like Don says. I mean, there's different ways to skin a cat. I mean, you can do Savant, you can do Control 4, RTI, Crestron. I mean, they're all going to have
Universal,
their
yeah.
pros
Yeah.
and cons. It's just, I mean,
What's so
this is the
good?
new kid on the block. It's a cool
So,
looking remote, but
yeah, the
yeah.
question is, how big do you want to grow that ecosystem? Do you want an ecosystem in your home that just controls one
Well,
or two systems, or do you want an
what's
ecosystem that does lighting, it does HVAC, and does integrates with security and your pool control and your
well,
motorized,
yeah, I get that.
right?
If I was a well-off human being and I was like going to look for a control system for my
You
home
call
theater,
me.
okay, well, I would call you, but why would I call you to get the Ava remote over a Savant or a Control 4 or RTI? I mean, what's a
Um,
compelling reason to pick them? Is there a compelling reason for that
I
over
mean,
the other ones?
Sure.
user interface. I mean, the remote. I mean, it's cool. It's flashy, right? I mean, it works. I mean, that's the most important thing. Is
How much is
it's
it?
But
been
the other guys,
reliable.
Is it
the
1,200 bucks?
the other guys got
Like
the other guys got
12.99.
touch control
Yeah, so you're not going to get
for.
a Control 4 for 12.99 plus programming and setup and installation.
Hold on, is that 12.99 for the whole encompassing feature? Is it for the remote and the hub and programming?
Well, you've no the Nano Brain. I think is like 300.
Yeah, but you don't need that, do you? Right? Can the
You
remote just work
don't
on
if
Wi-Fi,
everything is
IP?
line of sight
Oh, okay. It has an IR.
or IP, then no. Like, but for instance, like my Apple TV, they don't do IP drivers for Apple TV because anytime that Apple does an update, they could just screw over the IP driver, so they use IR. Well, my projector also
Ava,
uses IR. Yeah. So,
your projector uses IR. The NZ9.
yeah.
Are we just talking theoretically or
Yeah, I
hypothetically?
don't know. I'm just
Like
talking through my
yours.
system. Like, right. So, like, if I wanted to run everything, which I do, right? That's what you want to do. I've got to have a nano
Yeah.
brain that does
Yeah,
the
you would want that.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
has IR
All right.
flashers
So we're
on it.
talking about.
But if I had like say a Samsung Sony TV that used an IP driver to turn itself on and off, if I had Kaleidoscape, if I had Trinov, if I had Marantz, if I had, everything that was an IP driver, I don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to have a nano brain at that point. You can just have
So
the whole
that
project live on the remote.
other remote. If
Yeah.
everything's in the room with you.
Not necessarily, no. I mean,
It's on, it's on a
if it has
Wi-Fi
an
network.
IP driver and you're connected to that same internet, then it could be in the attic for all I know. You can still control it. It's
Oh,
connected to the.
wait. So the Nano Brain has the IR extenders on it, the outputs on it. Is that what you're saying?
You're
Or is
so
the
different.
Nano Brain
So
is the
then,
Nano Brain the brain that controls the IP?
No, it's an IO. Do you know what an IO extender is? An IO
Yeah.
extender. You do. Okay. So an IO extender, for the people that don't know, is a device that will take an ecosystem and add IR flashers or an IR blaster
Yeah.
or 12-volt triggers or whatever configuration that product has. Now, somebody on here is saying that the Avi is $1,700. So if it's that much, or even 1,200 with a $300 hub, and you have to go through a dealer to have it programmed and set up, you might as well do a Control 4 Core 1 with a remote, and you're in the same ballpark money wise. And now you have the ability to expand the ecosystem. Unless you do, I don't know enough about it to have super intelligent conversation. I don't know if it controls lighting, shades. I think you said it did before, Kellen, right?
yeah, I
Like,
mean, anything that has an IP address or has an app,
Yeah.
or you can control it.
that's cool.
And then you can set like webhooks up to do certain flows. You can do,
Does it build all your
yeah,
macros for you? You
yeah.
just tell it what input, HDMI 1
Yeah,
from
like it
Roku to.
literally took, I don't know, less than 4 minutes to
It was
program the whole
easy.
theater.
Okay. Does it
Yeah.
have Discovery on it, where it discovers
Yeah.
devices? That's cool.
Yeah.
That makes it way easier.
Yeah. Like I click Trinov IP driver, it searches, it says, the model of my Trinov, it already selects it. It
Very
says
cool.
what input is, what's the input on the back of the what's it plugged into on the projector, HDMI 1, and then it's like what's plugged into HDMI 0 on the Trinov, what's plugged into HDMI 1 on the Trinov, Kaleidoscape, Apple TV, boom, 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 and then you're done.
So that's a
But
Has it been solid?
yeah, it's been pretty solid. I mean, I don't
How's your
have
Wi-Fi network
the
still?
battery life has been good on it.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any. Is it better than my Control 4? I don't think it's any better. Is it any worse? No.
Comparable. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's any worse, but I don't think it's like this greatest thing that's way better than the Control 4 that I
Yeah.
had.
I mean, really, Control 4 is gonna probably It depends on the ecosystem. If you're trying to do a whole house, Control 4 is going to probably give more options and more devices and more third party compatibility. But for most people, what they're going to use it for is probably almost identical.
Yeah. I mean, especially for a single multi-purpose like media room, home theater. I mean,
Is there an app that it comes with too for your
no,
iOS
so
or Android?
that was one thing that I was gonna say is like Control 4, like yeah, it is cool, like although I never used it, but I could see where most people would have a use case for it at least, like if
Yeah,
they
playing
wanted
music on the
to.
by the pool, or you
Well,
don't. Well, you don't have to bring a remote with you wherever you go. You know.
well that or if
Hmm.
like you're like, oh shit, the dog's at home and I don't have the lights on. Like I can at least go into the Control 4 app,
Yeah.
turn on the living room lights for the guy. You know what I'm
If you
saying?
pay for
Where
the foresight,
is
yeah.
like the Ava doesn't have an
An
app
app.
that communicates to the cloud to your project. So
That's weird because it's basically a smartphone.
yeah,
That's what it is. It's a handheld smartphone minus the
yeah, it's
no
a
cellular.
it's a remote running the Android tablet firmware.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking remote. Can
I
you
mean,
hold it up again, Kellen, to the camera
yeah, it's a
so we
cool
can see it?
remote. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Can you hold the
Can we
remote
get
up?
like a $5 super chat at least first before I
Oh, to
hold this
hold it
thing up?
up? It kind of looks like a
Is
Neo.
that tactile? Is it
Yeah,
tactile in the middle
yeah.
there?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good looking
yeah, it's cool.
remote if you're into such things.
Yeah. No app kind of sucks though. I feel like that it should probably have an app for your phone.
I think it's coming, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it would have to.
it's pretty cool.
So, so for that, just the remote itself, how much is that? Just for that, right there.
12.99.
That's which is that's IP based. Oh, all IP based. Just the remote itself.
Well, no, it's got a this whole like back right here. That's an IR sensor. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll do IR too.
Oh, okay,
Well,
okay, yeah.
can you learn codes with it too?
Yeah, you will be
That's
able to.
good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So okay, so somebody wants to buy that for what is it, 12.99? That's you programming it.
I can't program it remotely.
No.
Yeah.
A dealer would probably
You
charge
got to go there.
$100
So
at least to do it.
so here's the thing: is in order for the remote, so you have to be in the vicinity of the equipment to start a what they
Yeah.
call project. Okay, in order to start a project, you have to log in with the dealer's credentials on the remote. So unless
Oh,
any
what?
whistlehead is
Wow.
just handing out their credentials to on a
Yeah.
national scale to customers, I mean that's just idiotic.
That's
So
like what Control 4 does. You have to be registered before you can
Don, what are you
do
doing?
it.
Are you picking your nose? What are you doing?
No, I'm just fucking put my feet up.
Where's
My
your
sciatic's killing me.
where's your camera off?
Because I turned it off, motherfucker. Would you feel
All right,
better
so
if I
somebody
turned it back on?
so it so it's not 12.99. It's substantially more than that. Is what you're saying?
Plus a hub, plus installation.
Yeah,
it's
because
gonna
you have to pay for
be
installation.
like for Dream Media, it's gonna be the guy that I'm already going there to set up the Trinov, the Mad VR, the. It's like at that point I
Yeah,
can
he's
sell
not
you
gonna
the
care.
Ava and set it up, or if you are in the Nashville and Bowling Green area, I mean I'm gonna be opening up like like a Dream Media AV division there,
Yeah.
so. I will be
So this is
personally the
definitely
one doing
not.
the installs.
So this is not a Harmony replacement at all. Then.
This is
Yeah.
not a DIY Harmony replacement.
Well, you think have things that are built for the home like Raspberry Pis, and people like to dabble, or Apple HomeKit.
Yeah.
And some of these systems, and now you've got Thread and Matter, these new formats that are jumping on.
Yeah.
The problem lies in the ecosystem and just having the luxury, because it sucks to control your system with an app. And you got to turn your phone on, open it, do this and that. It's just nice when you're watching something to be able to hit a remote and channel surf or do whatever, control the volume without having to use your phone. So somebody needs to kind of fill that gap. But you guys been to the grocery lately? The days of the $500-$600 remotes are gone. Everything's stupid
Yeah.
expensive right now. So
Yeah.
Michael Walker,
Well,
sorry.
listen. I use a $10 app called Roomy Remote, which I guarantee you does everything that $1,300 one does.
Yeah, you guarantee.
100% I do.
Okay. And you still gotta use your freaking phone.
100%. Well, I have a little iPad, which you've seen in all my videos, my movie reviews. It sits right there.
That's cool.
I touch it. I can turn all my lights on. All my lights on, turn the projector. I do everything IP. Well, it's all IP based. If I wanted to do something IR, I could buy an IR cache tack, whatever it's called,
So I've got
and set that up.
a Marantz processor to do
And
every
it is
fucking thing that your your $38,000 Trenow does. Why would I need a Trenow?
Like this one?
because the Trino sounds better.
Oh, does it? So
Why you try-
more expensive
why is
control
Kelly trying to?
system. I guarantee you, a more
Kel-
expensive control system will work better than your cheap ass app.
Why does it have to be way more expensive though? I would hope
Why does
so.
Trenow have to be $38,000 when you can buy Marantz for $3,000?
Because I can do like 32 to 48 speakers on it for one. It's scalable.
And that really matters.
It came out in 2014, 15, and it's still on the same chassis
But
for two.
same logic you're using, it's same logic.
No, it's not. No. My $10 app compared to Kellen's $1,300 remote.
I got the code cracked, but look at my $38,000 Trenow. It just sounds better.
No. That's totally different. 100% different.
Not different. It's
100% different.
It's exactly.
No,
the
it's
same.
I'm
No,
taking
it's not.
Don's side on this one.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not
If
the
you
same.
had one of these in your room, you would be.
I would only have one
not
of
worrying
those.
about that stupid iPort to charge your iPad.
I only wanted it because it looks cool on my wall. That's the only reason why I want it. That's the
I
only
mean,
reason why I
I
want
think
it.
it's just going to be a matter of time before they do.
Yeah, an iPort's like it's simply a luxury product.
That remote is an Android app.
So
That's all it is. That's all it is.
That's what I'm saying.
That-
it's a matter-
that root-
it's just going to be a matter of time before they make the Ava OS app available, and then
Yeah.
you'll be able to download it on iOS
The-
or Android, and then you can
That-
have your
that-
Samsung tablet on the wall running Ava OS and have all your flows and projects on there.
So what I'm understanding, that is an app on that handheld remote control. The Roomy remote is an app for iOS. It does local search. It does local.
It's not an app.
it's not an app, dude.
It's 100% APK on that handheld device, minus the cellular radios. That's all it is.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Android.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's
Do you think
could be anybody.
$38,000 for a Trenow is going to blink an eye at adding a couple $1,000s of controller?
I'm just saying I'm talking about the remote control. I'm not talking about audio
You're one of those
performance for
guys.
surround home
Now you're the
theater.
DIY guy.
I'm trying to be like realistic.
Control
my I've got own the code stuff cracked.
without having to call a dealer.
That's a code crack. I cracked it. I know.
There's if
does
a
everything
Marantz,
yourself.
Some dealers are cool. Like they will.
if a
they'll-
Marantz, I know there's dealers that will give that code out for those AV remotes. 100%, I know that.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, if they're idiots, for sure.
But as far as like saying your Marantz would be better suited for, than the Trinov would be as far as future proofability, no
Here's the
way.
deal. You've never owned a control system, so you just don't. You're talking out your ass. Your remote works.
I have an RTI system in my house right now.
Oh, RTI. Well, I stand corrected. RTI. Woo. That's like saying I got a fucking Hyundai versus your Kia, bitch. Sorry, RTI. I mean, dude, this is what I do. You talking shit all you want, but a good control system, or even professionally installed, you just use it.
For our normal viewers right now, who's got a home theater,
Oh, they don't have turn off.
maybe a bathroom and a kitchen. Um, as far as that functionality wise, this
If you're poor, it
the
probably
little
works
app I have.
great.
What?
If you're poor, I'm sure it works great.
I'm talking from a guy that can probably get all this stuff for free,
Can you?
but
I thought
I
you
would
could do stuff for free.
100% I could.
Can you just do a whole video and you don't get anything for free?
If I wanted to, I could have, but I
You want it?
obviously I didn't. I don't have it.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
But I have this app, which I think is sufficient for most people. I have never done a review on it because they're not going to give me a kickback on anything. So I haven't done a video on it. But for the $10 or the subscription fee, it fucking does everything. It does everything, and it's simple. It's
If
like
you're
a
the kind of
it's like a
person that wants to
harmony.
mess with it. But
It's
you
like
know
a
what?
harmony.
Most of our clients don't want to mess. They just want to hit a button and it works. They don't give a shit about
The app that I
layout.
use, the app that I use is basically a harmony. It's like a harmony, exactly like a harmony.
I thought a harmony
But
was
it's
a turd anyway. So
well,
you're
this
not.
is better. This is better than a harmony,
That's a big
and it's
stretch.
a lot cheaper than a harmony. I've been using it for the past like 4 years now. I haven't had any issues with
So
it.
how much did you
And
pay for your iPad?
Ooh,
in
challenge.
2018,
Yeah.
599.
Okay, so you've got a $600 remote with a $10 annual subscription is what you have.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Wait,
keep going.
If my
Keep
mic
going.
wasn't affixed to an
Keep
arm,
going.
I would drop
Well,
that
no,
bitch
you
right
just
now.
keep saying it's like it's $10. It's $10. Like, well, you still have to have a device to
And,
run it.
okay.
So that's gonna
You could
be
al-
a
you could
what?
run it. You could run it
$1,100 iPhone,
if you wanted to
$700
run it.
iPad.
If you wanted to run it on your iPhone, it's an iOS thing. Let's face it, most of the world has a fucking iPhone. You have it already. You have the device. You pay $10 for the app or whatever.
Not
But
if
go
you
ahead.
have an
Let's
Android
hear.
phone.
Let's hear the rest of your shtick
We're
here.
not. Are we like on? Are we cheap
Yeah,
audio?
are you
I'm-
like
Is that
answering
what
I'm
we are
trying to
now?
emails while
listen.
you're trying to run
I
your
love
coming
video
at
or
it.
what?
Are we cheap
I'm coming
audio?
at it.
Like
I'm.
give the shit. It's badass. It's off
You
money.
guys know. Listen,
Work
I'm
harder.
one of these elitist guys that have a trade off and stuff like that. So I get what you're saying, but I'm just trying to come at it at a more affordable
87 channels.
perspective here.
Like, oh, but I ain't paying for one of those remotes. Surely you're joking.
I'm a little upset that Eva was like, "Hey, you could just buy this for $1,200," and we're like, "You can program yourself." But then now you got to have
I draw the
Kellen
line.
fucking do it for you.
I spent 300 grand on my theater, Kellen. I draw the line. I'm just using this app that Shane Lee said worked.
This remote control, a lot of people were waiting for this remote control. Trust me, I still get comments in that video that we
Oh,
made.
trust me, we did
Yeah.
only
Kellen came to me.
about
He's like, dude,
37 refunds
Yeah.
on these
Yeah.
stupid remotes.
Yeah.
Not stupid, sorry. They're awesome,
they
but
told you that.
we were
They
totally
told-
under the impression that
Yeah.
we would be able to help customers set them up remotely. So, misunderstanding.
That's
sucks.
as bad as Zapiti going out of business, and the very next day they got Arvolution. That's just
No.
fucking. That's
That
like
is-
that's like not a good look. I feel like I was a part of like pushing Ava. We're like, oh, all you guys are getting ready for this new Harmony replacement. All of a sudden, oh no, you can't have it anymore. Now you gotta like.
Well, I think that's what happened is like
Yeah.
all these other dealers that don't know how to do marketing, they got, butthurt on, well, now Dream Media is just going to sell all the remotes to people.
Yeah.
It's like, well, no, but make a YouTube video yourself. Like, it's not that hard.
Michael Walker. Michael
Yeah.
Walker is my YouTube
Michael's
guy.
right.
No, he ain't. This is our Shane's Pro K-scape. I am Pro K-scape. Shane's Pro K-scape. I'm not Pro Mad VR. I'm Pro K-scape, but not Crestron, Savant, or Control 4. I don't have a Crestron, Savant, or Control. I reviewed the Savant, and I definitely would not buy that Savant that I reviewed because it's a POS. Because it wasn't user friendly as they said it was. What's that?
Just a remote. You just had like a little processor and a remote.
Well, they sent me the remote that was kind of like a Harmony type of thing. but then it was like you still had to like call your installer to do it. I was like, well, that wasn't what you told me. It was super basic. It was really nice remote, but you still had to have an installer do it. I was like, dude, I can't do this myself. They're like, well, could you just say that you could? I was like, no. But no, Michael Walker, with your Dragon soundbar.
Oh
Yes,
my
I am
God.
pro K-Scape because that's
No,
money. I'm pro K-Scape because that makes sense because it's a movie delivery device, and if you're a movie fan, of course, it makes sense. But this is a more elaborate type of thing here, device. Remote control for what this was supposed to be. There's an alternative for what this was supposed to be, and I gave you that. I gave you that alternative for $10. Don is selling you something on like a whole fucking
I ain't
elaborate
selling
whole
shit.
home
If I try
system.
to sell
I'm telling
anything,
you, you don't have to go that elaborate.
I'm
I'm giving
talking
you an
about
alternative to what
my
this was
clientele.
supposed to be.
My clientele don't give a shit about. Oh, that's great. Just put it in my house
I
to
ain't
do
talking
it.
about the clientele for the Ava remote at the beginning was the clientele for Harmony. That didn't turn into fruition. So I'm giving them an
They
alternative to
all
that
clean up.
for cheaper. Could I swing it around and go your route? Sure, I could, but I'm not going to because this was supposed to be one thing, but it turned out to be not. So I am giving you another alternative for a lot less money for those people that want to save the money.
All right, let's
That's
switch to
that's all
another
I'm saying.
topic.
That's all I'm
Don,
saying.
Don, I started using speaker snaps on a lot of our new projects.
It's fucking so
What are
totally
your
different,
thoughts on
dude.
speaking snaps?
I prefer Lucky Charms myself, but they're good in whole milk. Speaker snaps. Sure. I mean, yeah,
Sure.
that 18 seconds it saves you, dude.
I mean, for a banana plug though, it's pretty nice.
They're cool.
Just
No, they're cool. I mean, we don't use them,
yeah.
but we just whip our guys. Shh, trim that wire. No, but they're cool. I think they're look. They don't take away from the sound, and they make it clean and they make it easy. Nothing wrong with them.
He
I
does
think
have
they should be better looking though.
wow.
Why? Because I see some good looking AV setups
Yeah.
that just like you when you look at them, it's like, oh, this is art.
You can do a
And then I
video on
see
your rack, Shane. Show your
I
rack.
Oh
will
shit!
I
You
will
don't want to see the
do
back of
I
mine.
will do video on my rack. I did the one on the last one. Why wouldn't I do a video on my rack? It's gonna fucking look
Dude,
awesome.
man, the fucking racks my guys do are like fucking Picasso art, dude. These guys.
And I'm
Bro,
saying if there was a speaker snap that was like fucking nice looking,
Gorgeous.
there you go. People like nice things for
I think
cheap.
it's
I feel
efficient.
like a speaker snap could be one of those things. Dream Media can make their own. I mean, you got like a Sonos thing, right? Make a fucking speaker snap.
So, so the other day, last week, I got to demo the new Sony Bravia
Quad.
quad
Yep.
system, and I was pretty floored on how good it sounded. To be honest with you,
Well, like the HTA9.
similar. I mean,
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
shape, different.
Shape.
With that, with well, the speakers themselves, but the it impressed the shit out of me, dude. Like it just shows me that these things are progressing because it to me it sounded a lot better than Sonos. I went and heard a Nakamichi Dragon a while back, which was loud, but it was shrill, and this Sony just sounded good. Um, I don't know if I never asked them when you do dual subs, but they had the five. It's it was pretty damn impressive. And I caught a
Hmm.
bunch of heat on that. One guy's like, "It better be for $2,500." I'm like, "Dude, my speaker cables cost more." I mean, really? So can't please any.
So, so does that? I mean, I'm sure it's all active, right? Or
Yeah,
is it all?
it's four speakers. They're flat. You can put. They come with stands or wall mounts. Now with Sony, you can
I'll
use the
say
TV.
active. They're all
They're
power
all it's
modules.
all active. You got to plug them in, but it's wireless transmission, and then the subs wireless.
So
Uh,
you theoretically wouldn't have to have a processor receiver.
no, it's all built in. So you just run. It's
Yeah.
got eARC built. You run from your TV the most common use of it would be to run from your TV eARC out to it, and then
Got it.
really the sauce is that new Sony processing, man. That's some of the best auto processing. Listen, I mean, is it? People are like, well, you can buy a real system for that. I'm like, well, you could buy a lot of real cheap shit for that, and you run the wires and do all the work, and if you calculate your time and labor, you might get a little bit better sound. But for what it is, man, it's pretty cool. It was loud, it was dynamic, it was neutral. Like it wasn't harsh. It didn't hurt my ears like some of these sound bars. Dragon. It wasn't shrill. It was really good.
What I miss? Who speak?
Richard,
Dude, sorry, your dragon was just.
who?
It
What
First
did
did
of
not.
you?
all, Richard,
Sorry.
who are you getting your Just Video wall from? And
What's
or is this legit?
is somebody
Um,
getting a video wall for cheap?
I don't know. He said, what control system would you use for the Magnetar Blu-ray player, Kscape, Mad VR, MV, and a Just Video wall? Um,
Dang.
I mean, probably Control 4 or Ava. If you can have someone create some custom things inside Control 4 or some webhooks to recall the different tilings that you want to do on your video processor. Not the Mad VR processor, but the video processor that's going to be on your Just Video wall. Um, that's what I would use. Whichever your dealer is most confident in to, if you want to
Don't
do
they
a
come with a
two
video
by
pro?
two, 4x4, whatever how many ever sources you have going into that Just Video wall. But
Yeah, if you're gonna do a
from my
micro LED
company.
display,
Oh,
you better break out the checkbook, and there's a lot that goes into it, no matter what anybody says. Because I've done video walls, and it's a challenge,
yeah.
but it's awesome.
It's awesome. Oh, so you're
They
not gonna
do
get a
look
video
so
wall?
good though. We've got a customer that's getting one in Dallas, probably August timeframe. That'll be pretty sweet. It's gonna be like a 136 16:9.9 pixel pitch for
Cool.
just video wall. Yeah.
They're making
You
it a
know
lot
what?
easier.
You
They're
know
making it a
what?
lot.
They still didn't answer my question of what is the resolution of like a panel, or like what size can you get for like the minimum size can you get for like a 4K display, or
I think it's a 1/6. It's like they all pretty much in line with the competition. If it's a point 0.9 pixel pitch, you're looking at a
there needs to
134,
be.
136.
Why don't you get them on here to do a little education of what pitch is and what PPI is, at what particular size can I get this resolution at or that resolution at, and what
Well, see, I
true,
think a lot of people get caught up on resolution when it's about pixel pitch. I mean, if
Pixel pitch
you
is everything.
are looking at your iPad, like I am, going from the new iPad Pro, it's like this is technically not a 4K resolution, I don't think. It's a little bit less than that.
yeah.
But it's like one of the best screens that I've ever seen in my life.
Kellen,
So,
do they give you extra replacement panels when you buy one of their screens? They
so
usually
five
do.
5 year warranty and 10 year, or I'm sorry,
Wait, hold
10%.
on. We go to talking about pixel pitch to the warranty stuff. Okay, done. Let's wrap up the pixel pitch
Fucking
stuff
speak up,
first. Then
dude.
we'll go to the
Jesus
Then we'll
Christ.
go to the warranty. Okay, this is what happened last
Lift
time
them
when
up and
Just Video
down. Come
Walls
on.
was on.
It's
Explain.
37 minutes.
Listen, well, let's get these guys on to discuss pixel pitch and resolution and how that equates to resolution, because I don't think anybody's talked about it. Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, there's a lot of people that know what that is, but yeah, a
To
lot of
the
people
normies out there.
are getting misled, or they're not thinking
Yeah.
of it in the same the same realm as how you should be. So
Same realm as what? Resolution?
yeah, I mean, pixel pitch it doesn't equate to resolution. I mean, yeah, no, it doesn't. I mean,
To
it's
keep it
I've
for the
just
seen.
masses, we want to know. I want to know if my 280 inch screen is 4K, 8K, or
Now, I know,
16K.
but
That's what I want to
you're
know.
so I've seen
why does it matter?
really fine pixel pitch micro
What do you
LED
mean? Why does it matter? That's
1080p
what the.
look better than
What,
any 4K
what do you
you've
mean? What
ever
does it matter?
Why does it matter?
seen.
When I'm buying a 4K Blu-ray, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm watching this on a pixel pitch of like in 2326 or something, whatever it is. I want to know I'm
That's
watching my
resolution.
4K
That's
Blu-ray
not
and a
pixel
4K
pitch,
display.
though.
Well, people want to know if they're watching their 4K Blu-ray. Am I going to get a 4K resolution on my pixel pitch of whatever?
But I would say
What you're selling, what
what's
you're selling me is
important
like
is you not being
nothing.
able to see the pixels, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference in resolution.
You can't, dude. And he's right. I'm telling you, if you get one with a fine
You're
pixel pitch,
selling
a
you.
really good display with 1080p,
I'm
Guys,
not
don't
selling
don't
you
anything.
can't
don't
I'm just
fucking
don't
tell the
telling
come
you
difference.
how it
don't come
is.
at me like a don't come
Well,
at me
you're
like a
talking
fucking
shit. You're talking about
installer.
something you know nothing about.
I'm a consumer. If you're selling me, I can't tell the difference between 4K and 1080p. I'm going to sell you a high-end 1080p display, and you can't tell the difference between
You
4K.
can't.
Fuck
You
you.
fucking
I want
can't.
to know. I'm spending my money on a 4K
I
display.
challenge you, dude.
Then
I will
just
literally
go
kiss your
go
ass.
I
get
don't
And
give
an
up.
8K screen from Samsung if you're that worried about it.
yeah, you can't tell the difference.
Oh, listen. There's a lot of people out there in the display world that care about the
Oh,
resolution.
I
When
know.
people
And
can't,
they're the
when people can't
enthusiasts that are on
explain
the
it,
forums and behind the
And they
keyboards,
don't
but
know because they've never seen
correct.
it. They've never seen it. How can you talk shit about shit you've never seen ever? I'm telling you, I've seen 1080p on a really high-end micro LED. I'm like, that's amazing 4K. They're like 1080p, dude. I'm like, what? Right,
Richard,
Dylan?
Listen.
they do a grayscale calibration included with the price of the
Yeah.
panel. Just saw the comment. Yeah, it's expensive, but they do a color calibration in the factory, and then before they ship the panels to you, they do another color calibration and a grayscale gamma calibration. Sorry,
There
what were you
should
talking about,
be
Shane?
some. You know what I'm talking about. There should be some transparency in this pixel pitch and resolution situation here that I feel like we
So,
should
Shane,
dive into.
let's hear this. One of
It,
my best friends in the world is the vice president of the largest of North
I
America
don't care
division
if
of
he's
the largest
Donald
micro
Trump.
LED display. I have
Okay.
been intimate with these things and seen them multiple times and installed them. And I'm just telling you, you can listen or you can just argue.
Okay, so your sales pitch to me, if you were a
Shane, do you
display
have a do
company.
rag on right now?
What?
No, I got my hat on.
Okay.
So you're gonna tell me this is your sales pitch. If you're Sony or Samsung,
Sorry, it
listen,
must be the
you don't
non
need.
4K resolution iPad screen.
You're gonna be
You
like,
tell if it was a
if you're
do-rag
Sony
or
or
not.
Samsung or whoever you are, it doesn't matter what resolution we're at right now, guys. Just as long as it looks clear, that's all you should worry about.
Dude,
That's all you should. That's your sales pitch to me.
You look
They're
like
like,
a
Is that
I
your
will
legit?
tell
legit?
you
right
Is
now.
that your legit sales pitch to me
break
right now?
break out your checkbook because a real 4K resolution with fine pixel pitch is the last one I did, 16 foot 9 by 9 foot tall, was $500,000.
Okay, and the people that want that are going to pay for
But
that.
I'm
So
telling you,
people want to know about it. Why would they not want to know about that?
the bargain ones that are $130,000.
We ain't talking about bargain. We just talking about information of what pixel pitch is and resolution. If you can afford it, you can afford it. If you can't, you can't. That's what I
You
want to know.
step in front of it and you're like,
You
"Holy
won't tell the
shit,
difference.
this looks amazing!"
You can't tell the
And I
difference.
tell you, "Sorry, Shane, this isn't for you. It's not 4K
It's not
resolution."
4K. But
Are you still just not
three
gonna
hundred
buy it?
thousand dollar more is. He's right. Dude,
100%.
I
I'd
would
be
have
like,
seen it. I
oh,
would have believed it. I'm telling you.
because I'm sure at some point in the future, I would be like, oh well, why can't this do it? It just doesn't work because it doesn't have the resolution supported or whatever. I would want to know. Your sales pitch to me is like, listen, this 1080p display is just as good as 4K. It is 55
No,
inches.
I didn't say that. I said what's more important.
Well, that's
is going to be
the
how close you're going to be setting to
that
the
I
screen, and this
that I
is gonna
can't tell the
determine
difference.
pixel pitch.
Yeah, yeah. Kellen just went and
mean-
got trained on it. So what does he know, right?
Do what?
Nah, I said Kellen just went and got trained on it. What does he know?
Yeah, I mean, it's. I hear what you're
What
saying,
what
but
does
in the
that
grand
even what
schemes
does
of
that
the,
even mean? He just got trained on it. What does that mean?
He's
I'm
trying to.
coming at you from a guy that I'm coming at you from a guy that would possibly want to buy it from you. These are my questions. This is what I want to know. If you can't answer, you just say, "Well, you can't tell the difference
I would
anyways."
identify
How
real
do
quick.
you know what I can tell the difference at? You don't know what I
You're a
can tell the
tire
difference.
kicker.
You
I
going to
would
tell
say,
me?
Because
I'd say
people that can afford that shit don't
let's
ask these
go
stupid
look at
questions.
these panels together, and we'll simulate the
Those people that can
distance.
afford it are, if I could afford it, I would ask you those questions.
Yeah,
Sir,
and I would
Oh, see,
say,
look at that.
look,
The funny thing is that you don't have the answer.
No, what's
I'm
the
trying to get the
question?
answer for those people.
Question. What's the question?
I fucking just told you the fucking
Well, say
question.
it again.
I
I
just
didn't hear
told you
you.
the question.
Say it again. It takes you 37 minutes to get a sentence out. What's the question?
Give me the lowdown on pixel pitch and resolution.
Okay.
Well, give me the answer.
Two different
I'm not
things.
in
Find
touch with
pixel.
Give me the
reality.
answer.
What's it?
Give me the answer.
It's not.
Okay, so you
I
can.
just
That's why we're
fucking
gonna.
told
That's
you
why
the
we'll have
answer.
just video.
Pixel pitch
You don't know
is
the
fucking
answer.
resolution.
No, you don't know the answer, or else
That's
you
an
would tell me the
open-ended
answer. I'm
question.
sure
Well,
just
do you
video
like
walls
tacos
could
or
give me
pizza?
the answer.
But it's not a specific
You don't know.
question.
You don't know the answer.
No, you
You
don't
don't
know
know
how
the
to
answer.
answer. Ask the
I'm
fucking question.
sure. I'm sure just video walls could give me the answer.
Oh, what's the difference between pixel pitch and resolution? That's your question,
Correct though.
right?
Yes,
Higher
that's the
pixel pitch
question.
gives you better resolution. It takes advantage of better resolution. Simple as that. The processing that
Oh
sends it
my
to it.
goodness.
I'm trying to give you the
Oh,
answer.
oh, Kellen,
So,
Kellen,
so,
Kellen.
so
Let's get
you would
let's
rather
get,
get a
let's get
4K resolution screen with a 1.7 pixel pitch if you're sitting 10 foot away?
I would like
No,
to
it's
know if
gonna
I'm
look
gonna.
like a freaking like
I
Roblox,
Oh, okay. I would like to
Unless you're
Roblox,
know.
30,
whatever the
unless you're
fucking
sitting
game
in a
is.
stadium looking across the
I
stadium.
would like to. I would like to know at what size screen could I get this 4K display at 260 inches? Can I get 260 inches that supports 4K with whatever pixel pitch? Could I get a 55-inch just Wells video display at what pixel pitch? Like what am I getting at this pixel pitch at this particular size? Why does this pixel pitch matter at
But there's so much
260 inches
more. There's
at
so much more needed. It's how far are you going to be setting away from it?
What's a
It's
processor?
what processor are you going to have plugged into the other side of the video wall, sending the actual video signal. And it's
yeah.
it's it's all like the physical nature of the technology is determining the resolution. So it's pixel pitch is how many pixels are in a square inch, right?
Yeah.
Resolution is how many total pixels you have on your entire screen. So until you can
Yeah.
scale it to size,
Right.
you can't get to an actual 4K resolution until you have
Big.
the actual physical ability to have that many pixels on your screen.
And at what size can I expect that 4K resolution? What size is it scalable in the future to an possible 8K resolution? Is it possible scalable to a 6K resolution? Is it future forward? Is it future backwards? Like what am I looking at? What am I spending? At what minimum size? Well, don't shake your head. These are questions you should
I
probably
know
know
it.
by being an
Yes,
installer.
yes, it's all
You
scalable.
These
weren't
aren't
even in the
questions you
business
should know.
when
Yes,
fucking
if you have
1080p
an
came out.
I'm
8K,
giving you very basic questions I'm asking.
yeah, no, and I'm about to answer them. So this is the exact scenario that we have going into a customer of ours in August. He's going to do a 138 point 0.9, and he's going to have a 8K graphics processor like chassis, but because there's literally no 8K signal sources yet, we're basically just going to use 4K cards inside of it, and then yes, he will be able to upgrade that in the future to 8K cards to actually read the 8K incoming signal.
Aren't there different panels with different pixel pitches?
Yes,
Tons.
but that's determined on how close you're going to be setting to the screen, so it
Which
doesn't
I think
look like a worser resolution. But really, what you're seeing is the actual pixel density or pixel pitch.
Yeah. Shane, it's not a TV you just hang on the wall. It's all planned out.
I get the situation,
Okay.
but I feel like people should know. Can I get this resolution at? Can I get this pixel pitch at 100 inches? Can that pixel pitch be scalable to a 16K resolution? Can it be feature ready at 100 inches? What pixel pitch do I need at 260 inches? Is that feature ready at the same 16K or 4K, whatever resolution I
I
want?
don't think right now a 100 with the.
No, it's too
I
small.
mean, if you do the 0.7, I still think it's too small.
But yeah, you just buy a 100-inch TV at that point.
Well,
Well,
okay, so that's the thing is somebody might be wanting to get a just video walls at 100 inches, be like, oh,
that would be
those
stupid.
Then
that
I
can
would
fit.
just say, hey, look, let's look at this 100-inch Samsung.
That's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, aren't there benefits to a just video wall? Because it's like, oh, I can get like this on-off contrast ratio, blah 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 blah. Blah. Like, why would I want this over this one? What is the minimum size that I
I
can
would
get
say
this
what's more
resolution?
important to you, the feature set or getting your 4K resolution? If you're not budging off the 4K resolution, then sorry, you're just not going to be able to get that with a
Well,
video
let's
wall
talk
right
about
now,
nits.
Mr. Sir. You got to go with the TV.
There's no
And
projector on Earth that'll do the nits that these things will
and
do.
there you go, nits as well. Like, I'm sure if I could
Now,
only fit 100 inches, would just video walls give me more brightness out of just a regular television set?
But again, what's more important to you?
Why are you shaking your head, dude? These are questions people are gonna want to
I
know
know
when these things become more affordable.
there's fucking 900 variables to it, dude, and you're just like,
There are variables. That's what I'm
nobody's gonna
asking.
buy a 100-inch micro LED for fucking 80 grand when you can buy for 5 grand a 100-inch TV.
Do
These
they
are
make it so that
gigantic fucking applications.
so there is an 80-inch, so there is a 80 grand 100-inch TV or a micro LED wall? Is that what you're saying?
I think,
So
yeah, I think with just video walls, 100-inch 0.9, it's like
when
66,
when
68.
when people don't have the answers, they get upset, and I feel like I just
I'm not
stopped you,
upset, but
Don.
you're trying to do your fucking Shane Lee, create controversy with you got two fucking key
Because
phrases.
there's a question.
We're
These are
trying to
But
tell
I'm
you it's all
answering
basic
fucking
them.
questions.
You're just,
Well,
you're not.
Kellen's answering. Kellen's trying to answer. Yeah, and you're getting
But I mean,
upset.
it's like, but I was saying,
I'm
like,
not.
where do you want to make the compromise? Is it the nits? Is it you got to have 4K resolution? Is it what is it?
How big's your
That's
checkbook?
Well, if that was what it comes down to, I'm sure people will want to know what this price situation is
I
gonna
don't think there's
is
any
working out to.
value in a, you know, I guess we'll call it micro LED or large scale LED deployment. There's no real advantage at 100 inches on the
Listen, does it
current
have to
market.
be
until you get to
100? It could be like
150
it could
plus.
be like
We need to go.
150. It could be like 150.
Okay, so there's a series of questions, Shane, when you get with a client. How big's the room? How big do you want the screen to be? What is the quality that you're looking to get based on that distance you're going to be sitting from it? So it's all bespoke for each room. They don't necessarily just have a package. They might, but that
You
you can just
said
buy. Really,
you
a
said
lot of
this is
it.
what real questions get you fucking
Oh,
dealer
real
and
questions.
installer answers when they
Real
don't want to
questions.
answer the questions.
We don't
So
fucking have any idea what you're fucking talking about, but we're going to put this up here because Shane's asking real questions. He's getting to the bottom of this.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. You ain't letting me though. You're not letting me
Real
though.
questions. We're trying to fucking tell you it all depends on what you want to spend. You can get a fucking badass 4K 200-inch micro LED. It's gonna cost you a fuck ton of money, like a ton.
As anything, of course, yeah, of
And
course.
yes, you
Well, I
will
want
be
to
able
know.
to scale to 8K, 16K. You're just gonna have to replace the processor. Is it going to have 16K resolution? That's
Okay,
still
okay.
a physical
It's like okay. So
like
let's say 150 is kind of like the beginning point, right? Which is really big, still really big. Is there a pixel pitch at that 150-inch 16 by 9
yes
screen that
to
it
do it.
will max out at 4K? Is
Yes.
there a 150-inch screen that will max out at say 16K or above,
No.
or anything
No.
above 4K? Is there a pixel pitch that will max out above that at 150 inches?
But you're still thinking of pixel pitch as a 1-to-1 to resolution. That's not the way to think of it.
I'm not thinking it. I know what you're saying. I'm not fucking that stupid. If is there a 150-inch screen that will give me 4K resolution, but can also
Yes.
scale up? And
It
what are
can't
these
scale
prices?
up because you can't physically add more pixels after you have that screen in.
Okay. So you're selling me on pixel pitch. So it's a 150-inch screen. You got a pixel pitch of what to get me to this 4K resolution at 150 inches. Is there a pixel pitch, a
Yes,
minimum
a
pixel
1.2
that
or a 0.9, I think will do it. I think it's
to
more
get
like a
me?
158. But that's going to be literally how close are you going to be sitting to the screen? The same thing I've said like 5 times already.
Listen,
If you
some people
if you're
just
going to be
want to
sitting
have.
more than like 12 feet away from the screen, a
Okay.
1.2 pixel pitch, you're going to be
Okay,
fine.
listen,
If you're
some
going to be
people think
inside 10
some
feet, you're going to have to
people
drop down to a 0.9 so you
some people
don't
don't
see
care
the
about
pixels.
some people don't care about this. Some people just think they can see whatever this pixel pitch is that you're talking about. They could be like, listen, I want a 40-inch TV with a pixel pitch of whatever it is that can do 16K. I mean, let's face it, there's going to be MacBook displays that can give you 16K resolution at 40 fucking inches. And can people see the difference? Maybe, maybe not. There's going to be people that want a specific size with a pixel pitch of whatever this number is that you don't know. I want to know what it is. Is it capable of this at this size, at this pixel pitch, at this resolution? Like at what size, at what pixel pitch do I have to get to
I just
achieve
said
this
it.
resolution?
1.2 or 0.9 will both give you a native 4K resolution. I think it's like that 158. 158 inches diagonal, 16 by 9.
So I'm stuck forever at that resolution at that particular size.
Yeah, because you physically can't
Are you
add
not
more
stuck on a
pixels
projector?
to the LED wall after you've bought it that way.
You
I
think
don't
you could buy a
understand
fucking
what you're
display
trying to
anywhere from anybody?
what you're trying to ask.
That's fucking.
What am I trying to? Can you buy an 8K TV at 100 inches, and can you also buy an 8K TV or a 4K TV at 100 inches?
Yeah.
Is there a PPI on that? And do you know the PPI on that?
No, I mean that would be whatever
That's a pixel.
Samsung
That's a
has.
pixel per square inch.
Right. I have no idea.
Okay, so you can scale 8K and 4K within the same 100 inches.
But you're
I
talking about a single TV panel, not the same thing as a micro LED direct LED wall.
I want to
those are.
know, can I get a 150-inch
Oh my
4K?
God.
This is the same. You got a pixel pitch. I got PPI. I got pixel per square inch. Which you don't know the answer. That's why we'll have just video
Dude,
walls on.
I'm literally answering this question 1,000 different
fucking
ways,
idiot,
and
man.
you're asking
Yeah,
me
nah, you motherfuckers don't have the
You're a
answer.
fucking idiot.
no,
You're-
literally ask
we're
me,
trying to
and
tell
I will
you.
tell you the same answer that I've already told you. Go ahead.
Okay, so if I want a 150-inch screen, you
How
got
close
there's
are you
a
gonna be
there,
standing away from it, Shane?
I don't give a fuck about how close I'm going to be at it. I just want it.
Then why are you
I just
so worried
want
about
I
pixel
just
pitch?
I just want it. Okay? I just want it.
It's
Do you
gonna
understand
look like
me?
shit, but I'll sell it to you.
Do you
Go ahead. Finish
do you
your
want
question.
it? Do you want it? I just want it.
Okay,
I want a
perfect.
150-inch display. I just want the 150-inch display.
Got it.
Okay?
You want 150. Heard it.
You got two options. There's a 4K one, there's an 8K one. Is there
I don't have an 8K one. Sorry. So you're stuck with the 4K one.
Okay, so at what size do I got to go to 8K one?
Probably double-ish, 280 plus.
And what is this pixel per inch that I need?
1.2 or 0.9.
Okay, so at this 150 inches, I'm capped at, let's say 4K.
Dude, do you not understand what I've been telling you? It's a physical pixels mathematically give you that resolution. In order
Okay,
to
so
do
at what size do I need to get 4K resolution to watch my 4K Blu-rays native?
I think it's a 158, 16 by 9.
What? Okay, so 158 will give me my 4K resolution that I need.
I've said that 10 times already in the past
Okay.
hour, but yes.
Okay, if I wanted to be future forward, I could never get 8K resolution in that
How many-
same
No,
time.
because you literally cannot add more resolution to that.
So what the
screen.
fuck are you not understanding me, dude? Can I get a 4K TV at 100 inches? Can I get an 8K TV at 100 inches? Yes or no?
Yes, because Samsung
Okay,
makes
so
those.
can I get this just fucking video walls at 158 inches in 4K? Can I get this just video walls at 158 inches in 8K? That's
I
a no.
said no on the
Okay, so I want to know how this pixel per square inch equates to all this and at what size and what resolutions that can I achieve these sizes at?
Okay, so you physically have to mathematically work out what the resolution
Okay.
is for 8K, and you have to scale the screen in order to make it large enough to fit those to physically fit that resolution.
I want clarity. You ain't got the clarity for me. You just
Alright,
don't
well,
have it.
I
You just
I-
don't. You just
I'm
don't
not
have
setting-
it.
I'm not logged into my freaking portal to sit here and work on it on a live stream.
We want to
Shane,
know.
What the fuck do you watch in 8K? When are you gonna be able to watch any
Bless.
fucking thing in 8K?
Dude.
Like you're just talking
What?
shit.
There are projectors out there that will upscale to 8K. There's
Go buy a fucking
content.
projector, you broke
There's
bitch.
a push in the
if You're
industry.
taking that theory, you can do the video processors that can read 8K content and upscale it or downscale it to fit your resolution of
Everything
screen.
downscales. Even 8K TVs downscale.
It's a very fucking basic question, dude.
It's not.
And I don't know
What are you
how,
talking about?
I don't
You
know
don't
how
control the
you
fucking
think I haven't
manufacturer,
fucking
dude.
answered it. That's what I'm so worried. Like,
Look, these motherfuckers watching it are like,
God,
These are
Egging him
these are
on.
questions people want to know. People
don't wait
people
for the
want to know.
translator. Answer the question.
People fucking want to know.
Yeah, dude, you're letting him get on your skin. That's what he does.
No, these are very basic questions.
No,
I feel like,
listen, I don't think any of us have had.
and
anybody-
I know you know what I'm talking about.
oh yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I've answered it for you.
But when
So-
I hate it when an installer or one of these CD guys are like, listen, at 150 inches at 9 feet away, you can't tell the difference between 4K and 1080p. Like, don't tell me what I can see. If I want it, I want it. Like, what is when these CD guys are like, listen, this is the ideal distance for this particular size screen. No, it's not, or else IMAX wouldn't exist. Like, what are you telling me?
No, but
Like, if there's something I
but
want, I want it.
But I hear you. But it would be my job and my responsibility to tell you, customer, it's not going to give you the best experience. If you are 8 foot away from a one whatever screen at a 1.7 or a 1.2 pixel pitch, you're not going to be happy with that screen. It's not going to look sharp. It's not going to, you're going to be able to physically see the individual boxes of the pixels because they're larger. So that's where I keep coming to you is, I'll do whatever you want to do, but I'm going to tell you it's
I
not going to be
understand-
a good experience.
I understand what you're saying. Pixel pitch and like PPI is kind of the same thing. At a specific size and
Pretty much the
distance.
same thing. Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I just want to know how that correlates with the resolution. I just want to fucking know how that works.
Yeah, and with the just video walls, I think it's their 158 until you can get a full native 4K resolution.
And I don't think anybody talks about pixel pitch and how does this correlate to size and resolution, which I think should
Pixel pitch and God, what are we even talking
obviously
about?
we're
Pixel
2.5 hours
pitch
into this.
Pixel density are basically the same thing. PPI is how many pixels are in a square inch.
Yeah, it's basically the bigger you get, and you have the small pixels, the more the pixels are gonna give you a bigger surface area to get the higher resolution.
Right.
We just never had anybody, come to us like the big one I did, the 16 foot by 9, with the company I worked with. It's the largest manufacturer of them. Basically, it was huge. It was 220 inches diagonal, so that was fully capable of doing the 4K, but you just have to do the calculations on what you're saying. My point earlier, and I'm going to draw it back a little bit so we're all civil and nice, is that I've seen them with 1080p and it was stunning. I thought it was 4K, and the people I was with, and even Gene was with me, thought it was 4K, but when it was actually 1080p. So the picture was great. But if you wanted the 4K resolution, this was like 130 inches, so you'd have to go big to do that. And Kellen's saying with video walls, it's 158. So you kept talking about future forward, and that's a really touchy subject because how many products have you bought that claim to be future forward that weren't? I remember when 1080p TVs came out, and it took us years to get any content in 1080p, years. And now 8K's out. It's going to take us a while because look how we digest media. They're not going to be able to stream 8K for a long time. It's really the question to the client. And when somebody like Kellen or myself, we deal with a client, we have a lot of questions that we ask them, and we demo it and we show them, take them to the showroom in Orlando, and let them see and go, this is what you get. Nobody's trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. But
I get
there's
it,
nothing
but
about a video wall that's a value. It's a luxury.
oh yeah, but when it inevitably it will become a value at some point in time, and
Oh,
you will
eventually, yeah.
and you will have assholes like me that are going to ask you this question.
But the technology is going to progress and get better.
Yeah.
As things, it's still, these large scale LED direct view displays are. It's a big
feel it.
It was commercial. Now, if you're watching, you can have a crazy low pixel pitch when you're across the stadium looking at something. It's in 4K
Yep.
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, that
It's
makes sense.
all
Well,
relation.
yeah.
All
I feel
close.
like the pixel pitch, people probably would want to know what this is. How does it correlate to resolution, and how tight does the pixels have to be, for you to not see the actual? I mean, it's kind of like projectors and the screen door effect.
So you talked about
We understand what it's like.
You're talking about the standards for different districts of viewing, and that's funny because that's something I talk to my clients about a lot. The reason those standards were built because the technology at the time with the projectors and the screens, really that was based on where you didn't get that screen door effect when it started to turn into a coherent picture because the resolution wasn't that great. It's just in the last 6 or 7 years that we've really saw an explosion. Maybe 10 years of higher resolution projectors and screens. The screen technology's improved, but that distant seating thing is really relevant to the direct view LED displays. But let's going back to the main point and reeling everything back in. We're all good friends. We're not really going at
We're
it.
just fucking.
I hate Shane right
We're
now.
just-
Screw that.
But at the end of the day, it's about what the client wants and how good the picture looks. And my point earlier is that I watched one beautiful video. I was just my jaw hit the floor, and Kellen's seen it, or anybody that's been to CD or some of the shows where you can see it, or Infocom, which is even better. With a tight pixel pitch with 1080p is stunning, and it's really hard to tell the difference. None of us could tell it wasn't 4K, but I understand people want 4K. If you're going to drop that kind of coin, probably smaller than 150 may or may not be. It depends on what the client wants. If he wants a big, bright picture with all the nits for HDR, and he doesn't really necessarily give a shit if it's 4K, but as long as it looks good, a smaller size might be okay. But as you get bigger, that pixel pitch gets thinner and thinner, and then you get more pixels just because you have physically more size. Then you can definitely do 4K. Again, 8K, 1080p than 4K originally before it came out. We could consume it. Was a marketing ploy. Most TVs that were 1080p, by the time you could actually get 1080p, were 6, 7, 8 years old and almost obsolete. That's a truth. That you can history, And
This is
these displays are a newer technology, and it's only going to get better and better, and the cost will come down.
Yeah.
But it's so astronomically expensive right now, and I understand.
Yeah. This is a good well, just like you said, but just like you said, going from 480 to 1080 to 4K, and now we're kind of talking about 8K. I mean, there was education between all those time spans there should be an education between, all this display tech right now with this micro LED walls kind of coming into the consumer consciousness of how the pixel pitch should be and how does it work. I feel like that is an important conversation to have, especially it's going to become cheaper or more affordable to people, and you're going to have to answer these questions from people like me at some point in time.
But let me just give you, and Kellen and I both deal with the general public. We deal with our clients directly, so we get all kinds of questions. But we're also in the business, and we're realists. And a client that can afford this kind of system usually, not always, but usually doesn't necessarily give a shit. Because they got enough money. Then 3 years or 4 years now, as the technology improves, they'll buy. It's if a guy's saving his pennies and he wants to get a 8K TV because he's sure 8K is coming because the industry. Why would they make it if it's not here? The only place you can see 8K right now is a video generator that I've seen it. Anyways, and they're legitimate questions, but we're not talking about the same type of consumer, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does.
Well, let's not pretend AK is not eventually going to come. I mean, this is
1080
technology.
1080p eventually came, but it took years.
Technology always gets better. So I mean, if they're talking about it now, it will eventually come to the masses. Whether it's 5-10 years down the road.
Software upgradable product. I bought products with upgradable, like NAD's got the card slots and Integra had them and all that, but nobody ever made card slots to take advantage of new technology down the road. I mean, it's got a finite life to it, dude. And if you buy one now, you're probably going to want to buy something different in 5-6 years. I mean,
there could be a display tech out there that's kind of like a turnoff. You bought it in 2015. What year are we in right now? That's still very relevant and cream of the crop right now. There could be somebody just like them.
Even if it supports 8K resolution, the processing and the electronics and a lot of these TVs may not support future HK. I know 8K. I know some of the flagship Sony TVs that are 8K had the video. They had like a built-in 8K demo on it, but who knows? I mean, that's just consumer electronics. But if you buy anything thinking it's future-proof, you need to have a different thought process in home technology, dude. You know what I mean? Who knows what Dolby or DTS are going to come out that
in the video world, nothing moves faster. I mean,
no, video, he's exactly right. But if you buy a Marantz or you buy an Anthem or you buy this or that, you're kind of stuck in the technologies.
There will be at one point. Samsung is going to sell you an Evo box on a pixel pitch of whatever it's going to be, that you can get a processing box that can take your 4K display to 8K at some point, and they're not going to come through with it because I've seen it before.
Well, yeah, and, that's what I'm saying.
So I mean,
they promised the world, they never delivered it. That's 10 years ago, and who gives a shit about this client?
At some point, these micro LED walls are going to become the norm, and there's going to be a Samsung or someone that's going to sell you on this, and people are going to ask you like, "Well, what is this? A pixel pitch thing that you're telling me about?"
Wouldn't you agree, Kelvin? That's a more than fair statement. Eventually, yeah. I mean, it's progress so much.
I know you think I'm being an asshole by asking you the question, but it's gonna come your way.
But what I was trying to tell you is it's all bespoke, and we haven't calculated what point you got to get because nobody's ever asked that question.
This video wall has a portal. They have a tool that will literally lay it all out. And so whenever I'm going through the questions with my customer, like I can then tell them like what exact size will give you that native 4K resolution. I'm pretty sure it's like the 158.
Yeah, it's like
I'm just not plugged into that right now.
Listen, I wasn't asking you for a definitive fucking size, okay? I was just wondering.
I know. Well, you kind of were.
No, I was just wanting to know, like, fucking. I want to know what pixel pitch is and how it related to resolution.
You sound like the customer that I get off the phone with, and I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, the guy who's never going to fucking buy it.
Yeah,
you know what? People with
exactly
don't ask these questions. They're like, "Can I see it? Can I look at it? Oh my God, that looks amazing.
Listen, at some
I'll take
point, somebody's going to ask me about it, and I'm going to be like, well, I don't know. You can ask
it.
Kellen about it. I want to buy this. And I'm like, I can't answer. Well, you can't answer me. I'm not going to buy it from you. Who's going to buy it
Don
from
is right.
Kellen?
The guy that's asking that many questions and
Not your
asking those
client.
specific is
He's
not
not
going to
your
buy
client,
it.
dude. He's not your client. He's gonna tire kick, waste your time, and then move on. And I can tell you what people those are, but I'll refrain.
Well, now you know. Now you can anticipate it now. You're like, fucking, this guy sounds like Shane on that live stream the other night.
No, dude. I don't know about Kellen. I'm the only fucking guy here that's actually installed these fucking things as of right now and sold them. And I've been through the whole process with the client and letting them see it and all that. And was fooled myself looking at even Samsung. Like they're if you go to you should go to Infocom, Shane. You talk and you too, Kellen. If you ever want to see the baddest of the bad video, like glass that turns into an LED display or just the 300-inch ginormous displays that'll blow your mind, that's the place to see it. It's coming. I've been preaching that for a while, and I've got so much crap, from the projector people about projectors. There'll always be a place for projectors, but eventually the direct view LEDs are going to just. I mean, you can buy a 115-inch TV now, so eventually. And there's so many advantages over a projector. I don't care what anybody says. Oh, it's film like and this and that bullshit. Anybody in a planet that could buy a TV that was, had all the brightness and the nits and the viewing angle and all that is going to go that route.
I will say at Cedia last year, like all the video walls were impressive, but the Barco one,
Oh, that was dope.
whatever they did, it was like toned down a little bit or something, but it looked
Film like.
almost like reflective light. It looked
Yeah, it
pretty
was.
solid. It was gorgeous.
You
Well,
see the Tony
I
went
feel
through
like,
though with like that parade in Rio, Carnival thing.
Yeah.
That was
Did you see the one? I don't really want to say it, but um did you see the one that like whenever it was off or there was something that was bright white, you could literally see it looked like
oh,
ceramic gloss tiles?
dude, I
I
I
was
know it
like,
was on a it was
it
yeah, I
was a
know exactly what
huge
you're talking about.
display, but
Yeah, it
then
was
I was like
monsters, but it was kind of ghetto. It
I was
wasn't
like,
that
that
great.
looks pretty nice. And then like if you got closer
Yeah, it was,
and I was
but
it
it
was
was
like,
huge. It was so big.
yeah. But
No,
you
I know
could,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
well, I think I
It's,
think if these direct view displays become bigger, more affordable, brighter, bigger color gamut, wouldn't you think that at some point, we're going to get this Christie technology, high lumen output projectors for a more affordable price as well?
They're still
I hope
never
so.
gonna. They're still never gonna
I
match.
mean, let's face it. Movie theaters are not going to go anywhere. They're always going to be present
Mhm.
as long as humans are on the earth and there's
They're-
directors on the earth. They're always going to want to have their films on big commercial venues, and that technology would have to eventually, I would think,
So
trickle down.
Unilumin is the largest manufacturer of direct view LEDs in the world. It's a Chinese company. So Unilumin now has like 3 or 4 theaters in China that are direct view
Yeah.
LED, and in fact, they've been working with Harman
but where do
on
they put the
on a,
center channel, Don?
so well that's what I'm
Yeah.
getting to. So they're working with Harman now. Thanks, Kellen. Harman has a deal where they have speakers around the screen, but they've got side speakers that actually take some of the front LCR, the center channel, and play it. And Meyer Sound has a system where they actually have speakers above it. And I know it sounds corny, but evidently it works, and they reflect the sound off of the screen. So there's a bunch of big heavy hitter companies that are literally experts on on sound designing ways to. Now,
Projection.
what I
Yeah.
did on the big one I did is we RBH built a 16-foot wide sound bar, and it was elevated a little bit. It wasn't on a big wall. It was in kind of in a cabinet, a big cabinet, and we were able to do a sound bar almost at ear level to come out. But yeah, that's going to be the next challenge. But a bunch of companies are working on that right now. I know Tony Gramani has got some stuff he's working on to do it with some jobs he's doing. It's just new. Like any new technology is indistinguishable from magic, right? The Arthur C. Clarke statement. and we're going to see more and more better picture. The really thing you got to really worry about with these direct view LEDs is heat and power consumption. They suck a
Hmm.
lot of power, and replacing panels as they because they do go bad. Like that's the truth. I it's from the horse's mouth. The people that do it every day for a living. So some companies actually will provide 5 or 6 extra panels. They just kind of slide in like a jigsaw puzzle. Have you seen the back of one of them before, Shane? It's like a metal frame.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy looking. It's nuts. Yeah,
Hmm.
little processor.
Yeah. I mean, I heard the Ascendo version, and listen, I'll be quite frank with you. It wasn't like it was a center channel. It just wasn't. Unless you were dead center, you would have to be in the
You can
sweet
do
spot for
phantom
it to
center
sound
channels that
okay.
are indistinguishable. I mean, you really can.
Well, we know how that is in the stereo world. It's like you got a phantom center, bouncing sound off stuff.
I did. Look, you got to be. I didn't say I built it or designed it. I'm just telling you
No,
what people are
I'm just
working
saying.
on.
I mean, let's be realistic. In the future, I get it. I mean, I know there's a bunch of Seno does it, Porcella does it, is trying to do it. I mean, there's a bunch of companies that are trying to do it, but does it work in the real world for all the seats, all positions? That's a different thing. Whereas, if you can trickle down the lumen output, like let's say you can get a Dolby Cinema esque projector in your house for 10, 20 grand, still with a screen, like why wouldn't you do that? It's gonna trickle down eventually. That.
I mean, and I've done hundreds and hundreds of projectors over the years, and I love them. And there's always going to be a place for them. You just can't get the picture's just not the same, dude. I don't give a shit what projector you
No,
have.
I get it. Yeah,
It's
there's
turbocharged
the projector, but
$300,000 whatever. It just don't these displays. Kellen, you've seen them. They're just stunning, dude.
I've
Like
seen
Yeah, they're just not the same.
I've
it's not the same.
I've seen it.
But
The light
I
output
get it, but
alone.
then there's always the video aspect of it, and there's going to be the audio aspect of it. So I mean, you're going to have to give up something for
one
the other.
technology that I did really like, and it would be really cool if they could sell that to other companies, was Barco's light steering for HDR. They had it
Oh, was
just
that for the
running.
UST?
Well, so they partnered with Hisense just to get it running on an ultra short throw, and it was pretty impressive. But if you could
Oh, and the
like,
ultra short throw.
yeah, yeah, and if you could maybe in tandem use that with like a JVC, so you have like these just crazy, insane black levels in contrast with that light steering technology for like peak highlight, like HDR brightness, that would be really cool. But I think it's proprietary for now, just for Barco projectors.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
Shane,
asked.
shift to gear real
Yep.
quick. Would you mind? I went.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I
What's
went
this?
and saw
What's
the
on,
new
man?
Sony video products.
What's going on?
Um,
I feel like
last
I should probably clip that. I should probably clip that out. That'll probably get us a lot of views.
the new Sony 9 series micro LED TVs have the best picture I've ever seen on any TV in my life.
Get
Well, you know who makes
It-
those
dude.
panels, right?
LG probably.
Who? Hisense.
Samsung.
TCL.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, do
it's
they?
processing, dude.
Yeah,
But dude,
Samsung's mixing the panels for
their
Sony
new
now.
9 series, dude, the backlight and the black levels, it bested their OLED on black level. Like blew my mind. Insane picture quality, dude.
Okay? So you feel this year TV tech is taking a different step?
I think the new
Is that
Sony
that
9
is that what
series
you're telling me?
technology is going to decimate. I mean, they already win every TV thing pretty much. I think this year it's going to really take a step
I
ahead.
know how that works
We had to
though.
wear
I've been a part of
sunglasses.
it every year, but
Okay,
yeah,
I know you. Well, okay, all right,
yeah,
relax. I know
yeah. You
you're
know
a
that.
man.
But go ahead. I get it.
Kellen Chain's a
But
man.
you feel this year.
Dude, from what
I've
I
been at
saw,
every shootout for like ever.
the new. I'm telling you, these new Sony micro LEDs are the bomb.
I feel like every year I hear
Love you,
this,
man.
but you think this is you feel like this
I
is the
think this
year.
is the year that Sony, you know, puts its you know what on the table. I mean, they look really good. In fact, they had one with the front panel off. We had to wear sunglasses. It was so bright. They had a regular TV with the video picture on it. Then they had it where you could just see the backlight on it, and the differentiation between the really bright level and immediately black was just the best I've ever seen. It was better than their OLED, which I always thought their OLEDs were.
What size? What size we're talking about here? You know
I
what
was
the max
the
size is?
ones I saw. Well, they go to 85 with it. I think. I don't think they do
I
100
feel like
or 98.
I feel like this year, I feel like the 100 inch this year is going to be like the norm type of thing. You know what I
It
mean?
should. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to get
Yeah.
one first chance I get. Which I do a projector, but I'm in a rental and I don't like short throws, so I just like to, I'm going to try to do 100.
I'm going to try to do 100 this year too.
Are you? Right on.
I feel like the 100 inch is like, Kellen's got a 100 inch. It's like an affordable type of thing.
It's a mini LED, sorry, from the Peanut Gallery. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
mini LED, but it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful TV.
Hold on. Now that you've owned it for a while, how is that TV that you got?
Is it the best looking panel I've ever seen? No, but I mean, it still looks really good.
Which, oh, you have the Hisense? Yeah.
Yeah, for
It looked
like
good at CDA. I thought it was
it was like
beautiful.
$2,600 or something when I bought it on Black Friday. So I mean, yeah, it looks better than any short throw that I've seen. I'll put it that way,
The
by a
TV beats
mile.
the Hisense.
Yeah, it looks better than any
I feel
short
so
throw I've ever seen.
Is that
By a
a
long
true
shot.
story? You
Do
just
what?
said you bought it for $2,600. Did you actually buy it for $2,600?
It was $26.99 is what it was for Black Friday.
Cheaper than cost, dude. It was, seriously.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying because I know he was a dealer. Did you actually buy it? Okay.
Yeah, I bought it.
Or was it like, okay.
There's no margin on
But
TV.
it's good. Obviously, yeah, I know. The TV margin is like really garbage. Unless
but
there is a
I'm-
margin if you sell it on the day it comes out. But the prices drop drastically after like 4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
The but is it like sharp though and crisp and bright?
Yeah.
How's it
Looks
blooming?
good.
Is it blooming good? Is it blooming good?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the local dimming and everything is pretty solid on it. I would say it looks just as good as your like Samsung LED, your Sony LED.
Entry level, mid level,
Probably
top tier.
mid to high LED.
It looked good at CDA.
Yeah.
It looked really good.
And their new line that was at CES is. I wish I would have waited and get one of those, but I think it's gonna be like 10
Well,
grand.
that's every year though. It's gonna be a 10 grand, but then 4 months later it's gonna be like 3 grand.
Yeah.
That's TVs every year.
Dalton doesn't like us.
What are you talking about?
Maybe
Mudasser?
Are used to their customers not giving a damn. I assure you, they give a damn, my friend. They're right.
My bad,
They,
sorry.
they give a damn, but we educate them
Sorry,
properly.
Kellen. Sorry, Kellen and Don for pushing back on my questions earlier. Okay,
No, it's all right. I think it was just a
I should have been
misunderstanding.
more. I should have been more. I should have been backwards more to let you rule me.
You're just a douche.
And you're right. And you're right. Kellen Civil War has an awesome soundtrack.
I said the gunshots supposedly sounded more realistic.
Yeah, what do you know about
Lord.
realistic gunshots, motherfucker? But he is a Kentucky.
I've shot guns before, Don.
Have you?
They've only been 22s, but I've shot guns before.
We do.
Any other?
Sorry.
What is that?
No, I was going to tell Mr. Salton we do very much care about our clients, and we educate them as much as they want to be educated. But people usually spend money with us because they trust us.
Mudasser? Mudasser? I'm just trying to be like you guys. Just asking these guys regular questions, Just regular enthusiast questions. Maybe you're not the average Best Buy customer, but I'm just gonna come at you like regular enthusiast YouTube person questions. And it's good. These questions are gonna be the norm in the next 4 or 5 years because these displays will be affordable for all of us. I guarantee you, 4 or 5 years, we will have them in our
We're in the
houses.
infancy of this technology. We really
Yeah,
are. You know, none of us have all exact answers. We can find them for you. Do you have a specific question? I would tell my client, I don't know, sir, but I'll find out for you. I mean, but to think of buying something that's, and I understand future proof or future forward, and I get it, but my point was how many products really deliver on that in this industry? And Kellen can agree with me. There are very few, if none. Like if you go out
unless
and buy an 8K TV now and think you're going to have it in 10 years when you can actually enjoy a lot of 8K, format
I would,
technology.
well, I would think if you're going to get a micro LED display with, the pixel pitch and all that stuff, you could scale it to be like, listen, you can get 16K res right now at this particular size, and with whatever processor you can have, you could probably keep it at this, unless like HDR technology changes, unless brightness, changes or something like that. I would think that it would be an achievable thing.
I'm sure eventually. I,
Like I think right now, because right now
well, it's
8K is
gonna
like
it would
a
cost a
thing in
fortune, dude.
regular. And,
I mean, you have to
well,
put
well,
economics.
I'm not talking about price. I'm just talking about having the conversation in technology. Like it should be. I would think it would be achievable.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I mean,
Right.
right now it should be like a thing, because 8K is a thing. Like, why wouldn't you guys? Why wouldn't there be like adjustable 8K display that you can have at a specific size or whatever it would be? That's all I'm saying. That's the,
No,
the question that
that's a
I
realistic
wanted to know.
that's a realistic and reasonable question. I agree. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know when they're gonna have that. I don't know if they have it now. I know if you go big enough, you can. I mean, if you do like a 300 or 400 inch diagonal or whatever display, that spread out over that surface area is gonna make each pixel pitch smaller, and you know what I mean. But a lot of it's gonna have to do with processing that goes into it as well. And you can do
Mm-hmm.
multiple processors for the direct view LED displays.
Well, and
Trying
that's
to
the
get the
thing is like
nomenclature right.
you can get an 8K processor, but you're still not necessarily getting 8K resolution until you do a screen big enough to have the resolution to support it, or till you have a big enough screen to support a full 8K resolution.
Yes.
Big bada boom.
We'll see.
we shall
Uh,
we shall see.
we
It's like
shall see.
1:20 in the morning.
Kellen, what are you running for your Memorial Day sales? Is it Memorial Day this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course it is, dude.
Okay.
Respect the day.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Kellen. Are you dreaming to have a Memorial Day sale? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I mean,
He's like,
JVC
fuck, I gotta tell Zach.
projectors are still
I gotta tell Zach tomorrow.
get them while you can before the new NZ800 and 900s come out. If you're looking for an NZ8, the RS3100 and NZ8s are very, very low, hard to come by. I mean, shout out to SVS. They have a great Memorial Day sale on their scratch and dent open box stuff. Obviously, we don't sell that, but that's a good little pickup there. Um,
Are you
yeah,
carrying? You carry SBS, right?
yeah, we
Like
carry
you can buy
SVS, but we
SBS.
don't have their access to sell their warehouse
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Oh,
and
but you got like the
their
new
new
stuff, right?
speakers are awesome for the price.
Oh, did you
They're
hear them? Have you heard them?
pretty
I haven't
dope.
heard them yet. Have you heard them?
I've heard
Yeah,
them
they sound
twice.
good.
They have more bass output just about any tower even close to their size I've ever heard. It's substantial output on the bass.
And I
I
think
haven't
it
like
just substantially sounds better than their previous. Not that they
oh
made a
light
bad
years
speaker
better.
previously,
Light years
but
better.
it sounds so much
Light
better.
Yeah.
years better. Yeah. I've heard them
How?
twice.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
haven't had a chance to like have them in my sound room and listen for hours but what I heard was really good.
If you were to put those SV, I'm assuming you heard the towers, right? Don, Kellen.
Yep.
Hmm.
If I was to put those towers in my home theater, would I still cut them off at 80 hertz, or would I let them? Would I rip them at full range?
I'd say full range, as long as you had good power. They have a ton of output.
Okay, interesting. Interesting thought.
I mean, the bass output of what I heard, and I've only heard the big ones, the big, I forget what they call them, Supremes or whatever. The big
Titans, pinnacles,
Pinnacles,
Titans or
whatever.
pinnacles.
They
One of those.
had a ton of bass. We had to check twice to make
Anonymous.
sure the subwoofers were turned off.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, they're supposed to send me some. I don't. I'm not gonna hit them up
I
again.
think you'll like them. Everybody I've talked to, or in reviews I've read of them, people really like them quite a bit. I mean,
That's a question I would like. Kellen, this is a question you should ask Video Walls as well. Where the fuck is 12-bit color, and can they support 12-bit color?
I don't know, but I can find out.
Stumper. See, there's another question right there. There's another enthusiast question. Listen, I'm just giving you some fucking shit that you're gonna be prepared for in the future. You're gonna be like,
No,
12-bit
I love
color?
it.
Yeah, it's a question. Boom.
Yep.
Answer.
Yep. And that's the guy that's just not gonna buy one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the guy that calls me every once in a while. For
You
3
never
months straight,
know.
Just what's he gonna ask me about this time? Oh, it's something completely different. Should I get a Trinov or should I get a short throw first? Well, let's see.
Nobody with a Trinov's using a short throw.
I beg to differ.
You got one?
I know one. Yes.
Oh, buddy.
Clown
Hold on. What do you got in your theater right now, Kellen? What you got in your theater? You got the Perlistons.
I've got a Trinov
What-
32 Kaleidoscape. Mad VR.
Are you looking at it?
screen. Yeah. Dude, I'm so tired. I can't think right now.
Yeah, me too, dude.
I've got 2 Amp 8Ms. And then right now I've got 2 RTJ 18s. And then I've got 9 S7Is. So,
9 lower channels.
9.
9.
Oh my god.
And then as soon as the
Interesting, I got
Perlis
12.
and the S3 ICs come in, those will be getting thrown up. But right now I don't have any Atmos. I'm straight just ground pound.
Anyways, lame. Did you just? That's why you think Civil War sounds good. 'Cause you have fucking 9 speakers.
You're in theaters.
North Georgia mountains, dude. I'm playing. It's just you wouldn't believe the people that. Oh man, I called this one guy back from I don't know. I think he was from Vegas, and he's. Oh man, it was just his voicemail was like, "You have reached a non-racial, non."
Oh god.
You name it, just like I'm like, oh my god. And he's like, and if you are one of those that's trying to vote for someone that's trying to change this bullshit in this country, don't call me back. And I was like,
What?
That's awesome. Well, let's end it on that note, guys. We're coming up on 3 hours.
Well, Shane does go to bed
Guys,
in the morning, but
I
normal.
don't. I'm going to actually stay on a little bit longer after I boot you guys off.
Good job.
But guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thank you.
And listen, I'll be back on a little bit later because I got a little bit more time to waste. So be prepared to answer. Send your questions and stuff like that. I'll be back in about 24 minutes. Go to Dream Media. They put up a Evo Center channel speaker video today. Interesting video, just to do a video on a center
What?
channel. Interesting choice.
What center channel?
Evo X Focal.
Oh, okay.
Check that out, and then Digital Don will be back on. Don, we're gonna have. I think I'm gonna have Walt Zerbion. I don't know if you know Walt Zerbion, but we're gonna talk about CDS standards and stuff like that.
That's
so
very cool. Yeah.
that's in the works. That's good. That's in the
Yeah,
works.
Matt
I want to
Rose
kind of break it.
too.
He's on that.
Yeah,
board.
Matt's going to be on too.
That's cool.
Yeah, Matt's going to be on too. And then we're gonna. I'm planning going like chapter by chapter, maybe in different streams.
So the
we
CDA
can,
standard,
tackle that.
everybody, the CDA Custom Electronics Design and Installation Association, they're trying to quantify and create standards for home theater design of rooms. So because not every integrator is really into audio like we are. In fact, most of the hobbyists know a lot more about theater design and than a lot of integrators out there. So CD is trying to help everybody have standards to create and punch in variables and use whatever
Mm-hmm.
brand speakers, and it's really a good thing for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, interesting too. I learned a few things that were interesting. I don't know if they talked about pixel pitch or not, but I'm going to bring that up as well.
And nobody
So,
talks about it.
thanks for watching. I'm going to be back on. I'm going to go. I'll be back on in a little bit. So come back with me in about half hour. Bye bye.